Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Welcome to the Prelude of Champions. My name is Keith Myers. Today we've got the championship game of the City Lions. Indianapolis Christmas Attucks taking on Indianapolis Cathedral. Should be a great game. Stay with us. Tip off around 7:30, and we'll have all the action for you coming your way. During this half hour, though, we get to talk to some of my favorite people. One of these guys, I met him at the concession stand about 5 minutes ago. Dave Willard, he is the principal of Cathedral High School. And Dave, you've been around a long time, seen a lot of these city championship games. They don't get old.
They never get old. Doesn't matter what teams are in it. It seems like they're always going to be some of the greatest teams in the city. They battle. They come out and play hard. Doesn't matter if it's first round, second round, semi-state, or final game is tonight.
Two good semifinals the other night. Attucks really dominated the Covenant Christian Ball Club. Looked like they got kind of tired but boy, they really worked very, very hard. Lost by 27, but your game, man, a lot of people take and go. That could have gone any way.
Oh, definitely. With the Bishop Chatard game, they came out early, played hard, played tough, played as a team. Our guys had a little bit of a slow start, but boy, it was a great game. You know, we went right down to the final end there. We had a nice little lead in the third quarter. Next thing you know, we're only up 2 or 3, and it's another ball game at the end of the third quarter.
Let's talk a little bit about your favorite memory. You've been here a long time. You coached up in Lafayette CC. You came to Indianapolis as the principal of Cathedral. So you've seen a lot of these games. What is the famous memory that you have about this city tournament?
Well, I think the memory is the crowd and the people that really love watching the game, because every time the teams come in here, there's always great ball games. So it's always nice to see it packed. There's always great talent, and it doesn't matter which game it would be. Probably some of my favorite games, though, were, back when Scotty Hicks was coaching at Cathedral. We had some great teams, great players. Scotty, of course, was a wonderful coach. So we had some great teams there. And then also we had some teams that were able to nice run here in the city. And there's always 1 or 2 teams that would come up from behind that you weren't expecting, and that made it exciting too, because you never knew who was going to win.
The couple underdogs in this city tournament, because it's been the big dogs, but I think the gap has narrowed a little bit. Covenant Christian, a good example of that, knocking off Tech. Washington knocking off Howe during the first couple of rounds. So the gap is really zooming in pretty closely. In a couple of years, this is going to be really fun basketball again.
Yeah, because there's really not any weak teams, when you look at that, because you're right. The teams that are coming in here, they know the competition's great in the Indianapolis area. So they're always going to have good teams. The players work hard. They bring in great coaches. You look at all the coaches that are playing all these teams in the city. So it's always exciting, and like you said, there's always 1 or 2 teams that you're not expecting, and next thing you know, they're right there in the ball game. And then look at Tech. Tech's going to be tough again, but you just go back a few years, and Tech was dominating for a long time.
Let's talk a little bit about the coaches that have coached in this championship game. Basil, Mobby, a slew of coaches that now are no longer with us, or probably in heaven, coaching basketball up in heaven, but some great coaches have come through this thing.
Well, and I think guys, like Larry Nix, he was at Arlington when they were here for years, and Larry's still around. He's not coaching, I think, as much anymore. But you're right. It's, Jason Delaney, who's our coach at Cathedral right now. He was a coach here when he ran 2 or 3 times with Tech. And then, like you said, Basil Mobby, he's still doing some coaching around. He's helping, and he's still in the game. So you look at the who's who of all the people that have been coaching. Andy Fagan, who was the coach at Cathedral for a few years, he had a nice string of a few city championships. So it didn't matter which year it was. The coaches that are playing in these final games always been coaches that have won some sectionals and won a lot of ball games.
You talk about Andy, but another one is Pete. Pete used to coach here as well. And then my favorite is Greg Piper. Piper coached with Scotty Hicks for a long time, had a great time. And, you reminisce those games, you can't beat it.
Well, and Greg, he's got a daughter right now. It's a senior at Cathedral. And she's got a sectional tournament next Wednesday. So, they know the game of basketball, and they work it hard, and they study it hard. So sometimes you might look at the different programs. It doesn't matter if the boys, the girls, it's junior high, freshmen. It's exciting basketball here in the city of Indianapolis.
Final thing is we did the Cathedral Roncalli wrestling match on Indiana SRN. We had a slew of people there. I had a slew of people watching. thank you so much for the hospitality that you have allowed, the administration allowed us to do what we do. I mean, this is a vote, and you guys should say no, and you'd never do that. We want to thank you. And I know you're my hero, so I appreciate everything you do for us.
Well, but the thing is, we appreciate what all of you do, because there's a lot of people who can't get here tonight, a lot of people that are homebound, other people that are out of the area. So for you to do this broadcast and be able to take your time, commitment, and all the things that it takes, we thank you very much. I appreciate it, Keith.
Well, I liked your email today because if you don't live in Indianapolis, tune in tonight anyway.
That's exactly right.
Got to get those alumni, right?
Well, darn right. We want to see a good ball game.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. I think I got time for one more real quickly. And this guy was well-dressed Saturday night. He's not wearing, I don't know what that outfit is, but representing George Washington High School, Kenny Roseman. Hey, you were right. I mean, it was a close game. You need a little bit of crow, but, man, you got to be really happy with Chittard.
Kind of knew the scouting report. Taylor's doing such a great job with Chittard. He's bringing the energy, infusing. The guys are buying in, and I think we wore down Cathedral a little bit the other night with them scoring a bunch of layups on us. That's an inside joke. But, no, Taylor has those guys playing hard. So I expected Chittard to come out, and I just think if they would have got over the hump a little bit and made some shots early, it would have been a different ball game.
Talk about the fatigue. They're 17, 18-year-old kids. They rested yesterday. They're not fatigued. They're going to give us a good show tonight, aren't they?
Trust me, it's going to be all adrenaline tonight. With Attucks and Cathedral, the number 1 seed, number 2 seed, Cathedral, number 1 Attucks is going to be the first team to 60 tonight. Trust me.
Break this down for me. You played both teams. What do you do? I mean, both teams probably want to control the tempo. Both teams want to control the turnovers. But I think the free throw shooting is going to be the key tonight.
I think Cathedral is going to win the battle with physicality. If Attucks can shoot the ball like they did the other night against Covenant, I think it's going to be a close game. But, again, free throws will come down to it. The lights are on. Hopefully you guys concentrate a little bit more. But, again, as you can see, the gym's starting to pack up. It's some interesting – it's exciting.
So walk through today. Do you go – as a coach, do you walk through? Do you go to the gym and walk through and we're going to do this, this, and this, or do you just let them throw out the ball and go?
It's just a mindset at this point. There's nothing you can say to these guys up to this point. It's just you've watched the film. You know what each team has. You know what everybody brings to the table. It's just a matter of going out and executing the game plan at this point. Cathedral has a lot on line. They got a chance to win 17 city championships. Looking at the history of this they're at 16. They're tied with, I believe, Tech, possibly.
Yes,
tied with Tech. So this is an opportunity for them to win 17 and 4 straight. So, and then Attucks obviously wants a little bit of a revenge after what happened last year. So this is going to be a good game tonight.
Here's the thing. I've been in some big games as a coach. I never won the big game, so I don't know what that is. I just feel pretty good at being here doing an interview with you. A couple things about your school and your team. Your team lost an injury, kids lost an injury. I realized that we're going to do a webcast for you now. You're on TV against Traders Point in a couple of days. Tell me the mindset of your kids. You had practice tonight. What's your kids' mindset?
We actually had a really good practice tonight. Before we started tonight, obviously, I kind of brought them in together. We locked up, kind of like what we do. It's kind of something we do before practice. I mean, everybody's devastated with the news of Kobe Bryant. We basically kind of brought everybody together, and with Tyler, my point guard that went down with the torn ACL, our mindset was this. I mean, life's too short. We just kind of embraced each other and said, we live day to day, live every day like it's our last, told each other we loved them, and we're just going to try to make the most of the rest of the season. And we just basically said, look at each other, look to your right, look to your left, go home tonight and tell somebody you love them, because nothing's guaranteed in this life, Keith, as you know, and it's like, we're going to continue to battle. We're overcoming some adversity, and it's like, at the end of the day, they're getting a chance to play the game of basketball, and what else can you ask for?
Tell you what, there's no other man other than probably Greg Piper that I respect as much as you. Everything you have done for me and my family over the last 3 years, you have prayed for me. You've cried with me. I appreciate you. I cannot wait to do the webcast against Traders Point. Craig Cox told me it was going to be a war, so let's go out and get it done in February.
We appreciate it, Keith. Everything you're doing for Indiana high school basketball, the boys getting exposure. This is wonderful, and thanks for having me and taking time out and talking with me.
The cool thing is when I walked in, they go, "Who's your guest tonight?" And then I told them who they were. Oh, man. So you're an all-man. I appreciate you, too.
Thanks, Keith.
Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Bill Ludlow and I will have some breakdowns about this game and a lot more Stay tuned. It's the Prelude to the Champions on Indiana SRN. Well, back at the Prelude of Champions, you saw Cathedral. I've just picked this guy up from Washington High School. You want to play some ball?
If I still had any eligibility, I could.
You got one more year. Kenny needs you now on the court. Guy played for Washington back in 1995. You guys had a pretty good team back then.
Yeah, we had a pretty good team. We ended up losing in the sectionals on a remarkable game. It was the last second shot. Ahmed Bellamy hit it in a classic game at the Hinkle.
You know, that was just one class basketball back then, right?
Yeah, correct. One class basketball.
Do you miss it, or do you like the multiple class?
I'm old school. One class basketball can only be one winner.
Now, you know, you and I could go to war on that one, but I'll let you have that since you're my guest tonight. But tell us a little bit about this city tournament. You played in this city tournament. The place was rocking. You guys won the city that year, if I remember right, in 1995, and you knocked off a pretty good ball club. Tell us, as a player, what did you go through during that day?
The game was actually a big game. It was an actual rematch game. We had lost the year before on the last second shot by Keish Brewer for Cathedral. So we got them in the next round. The next year. They had Boston Celtic assistant coach Micah Shrewsbury as their point guard. It was an excellent game. It went down to the wire. The atmosphere was 2,500 capacity in here. It was an excellent game.
The one thing is there was no seeding at that time. It was all blind draw. So the rematch was definitely set up, and it was just made it so much fun to go back and get some revenge.
Oh, yeah, we definitely a good revenge game. Like I say, Keish Brewer is a good friend of mine, so it was a lot of friendly rivalries out there on the court. We just did our best for the city that night.
The one thing I know that 1995 there was no smack talking at all on the floor.
Back then, there was a little trash talking allowed, so it was a little fun back then.
Yeah, it was a packed place. You expected a packed place tonight. You've seen both of these teams. Who's going to win this thing?
I'm alumni of Attucks as well, so I'm a homer. I'm rooting for Attucks as well. But as far as the crowd, it looks like everybody's coming in. It's going to be an excellent crowd tonight. Look forward to an excellent game.
Jerry, I tell you, to be all transparent, he was scared to death to walk on the set, and then all of a sudden Kenny challenged him, and he doesn't back out to a challenge. Red, thanks so much. I appreciate you spending time with us. All right. Boy, I tell you what, we got some great people. Now stepping in is Bill Ludlow, as he will be doing some stats for us and all kinds of stuff. 2:30 left in the JV game, and Attucks leads 73-50. It's been Attucks the whole entire night for this JV game.
The minute the ball was tossed in the air to start this ball game, you're right, it's been all Attucks. Look out, it may be that way come the varsity game.
You've seen both of these teams. You've seen Cathedral twice now. They're the real deal, but I think Attucks has something for them. I think Attucks has to shoot in the mid-60s tonight to get this done. Your thoughts?
Well, you look at both these ball clubs. On offense, both of them averaging 78.8 points ball game. The defense for Attucks giving it up 67, Cathedral 60. There's going to be no defense here tonight, folks.
It's going to be running up and down the floor. Okay, the other night you and I did the Covenant Christian game against Tech, an upset game. Covenant Christian, are they not there yet, or is Attucks that good, Bill?
You mean Tech?
Tech, yeah.
Yeah, they played Tech. Tech's on the rise. I like what Coach Barnes is doing here at Tech. They're on the rise. I think Covenant is maybe one or two players away from hitting that hump. But, come sectional time, anything can happen. You and I have been around this game a long time, and you know that.
6 years ago, we did our first city championship game. We sat over there and got hit by balls and got yelled at. Did you ever think, one, that we would do web TV, the other thing that we would be here 6 years later with 3.5 million people viewing Indiana SRN?
No, and when we sit along that side, if somebody would have said something about webcast and, back then I would have said, ain't going to happen, but then we got the Wizard on board with us, webcast, so, thank you for the CEO, the Wizard, and, your fine work that you've done and the crews that we have now for Indiana SRN. Just a fabulous bunch of guys.
The CEO just whispered in my ear, you're not getting a raise even if you want it or not. But you're right, and then we have to, Jesus Christ has given us the opportunity and the platform to do that as well, because the Lord has given us this vision to do this, and it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it is very fun, and, I wasn't planning on coming down tonight, but then when I thought, the idea popped into this old mind of mine. It's like, why don't you go down and do stats for these guys? Because doing ball games myself, stats are wonderful, if we could have somebody all of the time. So I thought, I'm going to go down and, we're a team. We've been a team. We're a team all the time. I want to work for this team and be with this team and help them out tonight.
Jimmy Cook and Sean Kroll has their earphones on. They're cracking up because they're laughing at you. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a look at Attucks next on Indiana SRN.
If you find yourself confronted by unwanted pests in your home or office, then you need to contact the professionals at Kim Mountain Pest Control. We offer quality pest control solutions at an affordable price. We specialize in ants and termites. We're also available to handle a variety of other pests, including roaches, fleas, and flying insects, as well as rats and mice. Don't wait until pests cause severe damage to your home or property. Contact the team of experts at Kim Mountain Pest Control today.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Hello, my name is Sean Kroll, and I've been a part of the Indiana SRN family for the last 9 years. Last year, we streamed a record 326 sporting events around Central Indiana. All the other guys broadcast basketball and football, but we at Indiana SRN also air volleyball, softball, baseball, and even golf. But we need your help. To continue our mission, please help us by contacting Coach at indianasrn.org. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Our family has been very happy working with Wallflower Pictures,
because they make sure that I get the acting skills that I need in this industry and the education that I need.
Wallflower Pictures supports UV's journey in the industry. They're very passionate about his growth, and they're very professional and attentive to our needs.
And I truly believe in the projects I've worked on, like For the Boys and The Walk.
We love working with Wallflower Pictures.
Well, Mr. Piper is with us. 1986, 1989. I do believe I did AAU basketball for you in 1990. You started Like Me in 92. And then you start sponsoring Indiana SRN. And now you're a basketball coach at Broad Ripple, Cathedral, the boys club, everywhere. You just love basketball.
Yes, I do. It's I just enjoy working with the kids. We have a great time. It helps bring the kids help them teach fundamentals of life as well as the game of basketball. I also did girls AAU for 10 years because I coached my daughter who's now a senior at Cathedral.
Let's talk a little bit, first of all, about the girls' city sectional draw. I thought a really good draw. The Northern, looks like Hamilton Southeastern could be the team in the North, or is it Northwestern's?
Northwestern's tough. They're going to be real tough. But Hamilton Southeastern, they were there last year. And they still got a great team that's coming back. They're going to be tough all the way through.
In the South, is it open or is it just Lawrence North?
No, it's definitely open. I don't know if you've seen North Central's playing really well right now. Section 10. Whoever comes out of Section 10, I think is going to have a good road into the finals.
And that's loaded. That section is loaded. And that's 4A. 3A, I think, is wide open. I really like the 1A. Those little small schools are really doing a nice job because everybody who had success sector is now in 2A, so it's made 1A very competitive, and we could have a new champion for the first time in a long time.
Oh, I think so too. 1A is wide. That's a section that's wide open. Now in 2A, Triton Central. We played them the other night, and they are incredibly talented. If they continue to play well together, they're going to take it all the way.
Brian Graham's been there for a long, long time, coached a long, long time. Now let's talk about the city championships. You've been here a long time. You watched this. What's your favorite memory of the city tournament?
My favorite memory, let's see, I was with Coach Hicks for all but 3 of them. Pete Berg did not win it when I was with him, unfortunately, but Scott Hicks won it 7 times. And I'm trying to pick one of them out. I think it's really tough to say because we won it both at Cathedral and at Broad Ripple when we were there. So I'm going to say probably our last win at Broad Ripple. That was probably the one I remember the most.
Is that the most memorable season of the Broad Ripple season? You knew the school was closing. Those kids played real well. They came back. They knew their school was going to close. They came back to finish out their basketball season. That was a fun team. And we got to do a lot of your games, and that was a lot of fun that year.
Yeah, that was. But I'll tell you, my best season at Broad Ripple is when we knocked off Park Tudor. But not only during the regular season, but then in the section to go on and move into the regionals and the semi-states. That was a great year for that group.
Okay, get your coaching hat on. You did a great job the other night. Cathedral and it's Attucks. What do you do? How do you stop Attucks, first of all?
Your defense is going to have to be really tight. You're going to have to pack it in. You can't let these guys drive. They're so athletic. Chris has got these kids playing up to their abilities, and they can play it all the way around the floor. They can shoot threes, but their penetration and their defensive intensity is incredible. But I will say this. Cathedral, when they really put it on and they sit there and they play team defense, they're really tough to beat. They're real tough.
You think they got scared a little bit with Chittard the other night, or did Chittard play that well?
Chittard played that well. Cathedral doesn't get scared, but I'll tell you right now, everybody comes out to play them, they put their A game on, and they play them to the max. Chittard played their A game. He had them very well prepared, and those kids, they don't quit. They don't quit. They just come at you and at you. Doris, he is an incredible ball player.
Jason Delaney told me that they feel like they have a target on their back because it's Cathedral. Who's going to win tonight? What's the point spread? And what's the number of points? I'm not going to give you that easy.
Okay, it's going to be in the 80s. It's going to be an up-and-down game because they both love to run. Who's going to win? Team has the ball last. That's what it's going to be.
What a cop-out. Thanks.
One more thing. I got to say, I get to come to this game because I got a great wife. My wife, Angeline, always is one of the best coaches' wives anybody could ever have. She keeps me going all the time and allows me to come do all these kind of things, and I get to talk to you then.
You know, you're the best. That's why you sponsor us, buddy. We're going to take a look at Christmas Attucks when we come back. You're watching Indiana SRN and a prelude to a champion.
The Christmas Attucks Museum is a unique entity. It's first and foremost one of the only state-of-the-art museums that is attached to a public high school. It came about through a unique situation that transpired back in the 80s. In 1986, the Indianapolis Public Schools Corporation was going through a transition, and in this transition, they shut down numerous high schools. In the process, Attucks was one that was targeted. Although they did not formally shut it down completely, it was converted from a high school to a middle school.
When the alumni across the country started hearing that they were getting ready to make some changes to Christmas Attucks, they started flying in here from all over the country. That didn't change the school board's minds, but what it did was the superintendent said, well, here's what we will do. We will give you a space in Christmas Attucks to memorialize, to celebrate the traditions of the high school in this museum. That celebrates the African diaspora, because there couldn't have been an Attucks had there not been an Africa. So we teach in this museum that our history didn't start on a plantation in America. It started in ancient Africa many thousands of years ago with our ancient African ancestors. We always start our tours with the Legends mural. These were the teachers, the professors, who taught the students at Christmas Attucks. But they were not just teachers and professors at the school. They were very much associated with the community of Indianapolis. When you go around the wall, you will see the magnitude of education that went on here. You'll see the school when it first started, of sports that went on at Crispus Attucks. Marvin Johnson, one of the greatest boxers in the world. We have his belts here. He went to Crispus Attucks. So we have him proudly displayed here. I am very proud of this picture. It is the first Crispus Attucks football team. And there's my father and my uncle as part of the players on the football team. Attucks men in the military. We have General Brooks memorabilia right here. He is the one who was the mentor to General Colin Powell. Very, very proud of all his memorabilia being here. This is part of the Crispus Attucks community. I mean, you see Julia Carson, you see Angela Brown, a diva, an international diva. And here are some of the principals of schools that fed into Crispus Attucks. So you just see so many connections from the community that fed right into Crispus Attucks and made it what it was. These are some of the musicians. Most of them either graduated from Crispus Attucks or their lives were touched by someone from Crispus Attucks.
This is not an all-black experience. This is not an all inner city experience. This is a world experience. This is an American experience. This is part of the American saga, the American culture, the American story.
If you find yourself confronted by unwanted pests in your home or office, then you need to contact the professionals at Kim Mountain Pest Control. We offer quality pest control solutions at an affordable price. We specialize in ants and termites. We're also available to handle a variety of other pests, including roaches, fleas, and flying insects, as well as rats and mice. Don't wait until pests cause severe damage to your home or property. Contact the team of experts at Kim Mountain Pest Control today.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolfert, president of the IHSAA Foundation. Lots of high school athletes here in Indiana have gone on to become collegiate All-Americans. A few of them have even turned pro. But participating in high school sports has helped virtually every high school athlete become a good American. That's because playing high school sports teaches life lessons like the importance of persistence, teamwork, tenacity, preparation, and hard work. The IHSAA Foundation was created to help high school administrators and coaches become more effective role models and teachers, emphasizing values that will help their players become better athletes, better representatives of their community, and better Americans. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Welcome back to the Prelude of Champions. I'm Keith Myers. With us now is Kip Wisner. He's the guy that does the Hoosier Basketball Magazine. Page 59 is really a good page.
Definitely. We're happy to be with your broadcast, and we go to games all over the state every night of the week with covering the high school basketball. And it's such a great time of the year. In January, we have the end of the season for the girls tournament starting in a week or so. And anytime you're dealing with a city tournament in Indianapolis, Marion County, it's great basketball.
One of the things he told me off air was every single time we walk in the gym, I see Indiana SRN banner. You're everywhere. Well, that's what we want to do, Kip. Because that's where that gets that Hoosier Basketball Magazine.
Right, exactly. SRN, the broadcast is great. the Hoosier Basketball Magazine. We cover from Fort Wayne to Evansville, Terre Haute, Richmond, everything in between. So it's an exciting time.
It's $10. Where can people find it?
Well, we're in newsstands with Meyer, Kroger. You can call our office, 317-925-8200, or check out our website at HoosierBasketballMagazine.com.
Or you can contact us at Indiana SRN at coach@Indiana SRN, and we'll let them know too, Kip.
That sounds great. We've got our top 60 senior workout coming up in March, and we also do a North-South Indiana All-Star Classic at Heritage Hills this year. So many of the top players like Sincere McMahon, who's a senior, a lot of Marion County and Indianapolis area players will be involved in that game. So you can check out our website at HoosierBasketballMagazine.com.
Maybe that's a trip Indiana SRN should make.
It should be, yes, because
we'll talk. My agent will talk to your agent.
Yeah, that sounds great. That
Thanks,
sounds great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up now is Bobby Cox. He's the commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Bobby, he knows the X, man. You know this pretty well.
Yeah, this is the X. X marks the spot.
Last one of the city tournament that you're going to be watching as a commissioner. First of all, thank you so much for what you've done. And we've already talked off here, but you've done a lot for the association and for little guys like us. Thank you so much.
Well, you're quite welcome. We appreciate everything you do to support high school sports.
Talk a little bit about what the last days are like, because your days are not rested at all.
Well, we still got a full semester. We're in the midst of the winter tournament season, city tournament here in Indianapolis tonight, and won't be long before the girls basketball sectionals begin. Wrestling starts, so our winter season's upon us. We had our pairing show last night for girls, and won't be a couple weeks left for boys. And we got a lot of work to do between now and then, and get a little break at spring break, and then of course our spring season, and a lot of things to wrap up the year. So be busy.
We're kind of excited because we get to do wrestling sectional this week at Southport. We get to do the regional at Perry Meridian. They go to Newcastle for semi-state. It's our second year doing that, and the crowd that follows that is tremendous. And the wrestling here in the state of Indiana is tremendous as well.
It's been very good. Our crowd base is very good in all of our sectional, regionals, and semi-states, and the state finals is a great event for us. The wrestling crowd is very supportive. And we got a lot of really good wrestling in the state of Indiana. For a state our size, our young men compete favorably as they go forward.
Let's talk about the sectional show. Watched it last night. Some great matchups in the first round. Starting Tuesday night, from top to bottom, it's wide open.
Well, it's going to be a wide open tournament, I think. A lot of people say Northwestern's a team to beat 4A, but they got a tough road to go through. There's some good teams in front of them. And I think all the classifications have some really good matchups, so I'm excited for the tournament to get started and see how it goes.
I really like the 1A tournament because it looks really good. And there's a little team down in Greenwood that's making a lot of noise. I'll tell you what, that school is on fire, and it's kind of fun to see the little guys have their due.
Yeah, they're well coached and got a good group of young men together, and they're going to be good. So I think they'll be fine.
Bobby, we really appreciate what you do. Thanks for stopping by. Tell Paul to buy you some popcorn, will you?
I'll do that.
All right. We'll take a break. I think we're going to send it to Jimmy and Sean when we get back. Well, I'll see you back at halftime. You've been watching the Prelude of Champions right here on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
If you find yourself confronted by unwanted pests in your home or office, then you need to contact the professionals at Kim Mountain Pest Control. We offer quality pest control solutions at an affordable price. We specialize in ants and termites. We're also available to handle a variety of other pests, including roaches, fleas, and flying insects, as well as rats and mice. Don't wait until pests cause severe damage to your home or property. Contact the team of experts at Kim Mountain Pest Control today.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others. and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Team. This year they're number 1. Can they get over the hump with Chris Hawkins? They've got the horses, Sincere McMahon. They've got Jason Hall, Donovan Barnett. They've got the guys to do it. Can they get it done is the big question tonight. And I don't know if you can hear it, but man, this place is rocking.
Well, here at Arsenal Tech, it's a band war as both schools have brought their respective bands. To our right, which you can't see off camera, but you can definitely hear them, is the Arsenal Tech Fighting Tigers, or Marching Tigers, I suppose is the better phrase. And then across the way is the Cathedral Irish Marching Band. So you expect all the stops to be pulled out for an event like this, but you're right, you can tell there's a certain buzz in the atmosphere if you're a Christmas Attucks Tiger tonight.
Oh, 100%.
For that exact reason you mentioned, given how long it's been and how close they were last year.
And you're seeing tons of alumni here because they want it so desperately. They got the state championship they desired a couple of years ago, and now they want to say we're rulers of the city, which is the first step to win another state championship. They're in 4A this year, which is going to be a tough road to hoe for them. They want this more than anything, not to have that state championship. And if Bobby Cox is here and Paul Neidig is here, all the people from the IHSAA office, it's a big game. And we're just so lucky that we're here because I'm telling you what, if we see some fireworks like we expect,
Jerry,
the roof may not hold this place.
I can fill some time if they need time.
You and I both watched the semifinal games. We're on the calls for our respective broadcasts. You had the first game between Christmas Attucks and Covenant Christian. I have said the second game between Chittard and Cathedral. My takeaways from what I saw from the Irish was they looked beatable. Now, Chittard is a team that is well-balanced from top to bottom. They gave them pretty much everything they could, but they were unable to get over a little drought that happened in the first half and never really came back when it got to as close as 6. But after that, it was clear that Cathedral had them at arm's length the whole night. From what you saw out of Christmas Attucks and how dominant they were against Covenant Christian, I don't think it's going to be that one-sided, but what did you see in that game that makes you think, with how vulnerable Cathedral looked on Saturday, that Attucks is going to win this tonight?
I think Attucks is very much like a heavyweight boxer. Those first couple of rounds, they want to feel you out and see where it goes. And once they get an idea of what you want to do, then they go for the knockout blow. They only scored 16 points in the first quarter, then had 34 in the second. In the third quarter, they had 11 points, but then had 35 in the fourth. They kind of let the game come to them, see where it's going. But the thing about Attucks is, once they get going, they are hard to stop. It is a snowball rolling downhill. And when Sincere McMahon gets hot, as he got in the second quarter, he could have thrown it up backwards off his tippy toes doing a ballerina dance, and it was going to go down. He was definitely in heat check mode, and he was on fire. So that's Cathedral's first order of business is to slow down McMahon.
For the Irish, Grant Togg is one of their leading scorers along with Tayshawn Comer, but it was the big fella in the sophomore Peter Moe who really carried the load throughout that semifinal game. When you add him as a third piece, as a third potential double-figure scorer, do you envision him being somebody they can rely on consistently, or is that maybe an outlier game taking advantage of the matchup against Chittard?
Great question. I think they saw the advantage they had against Chittard in terms of size and took advantage of it. Attucks has some size. Not only that, they've got quickness as well. So we got to see if Coach Delaney wants to try and manipulate Mo in a way that helps him to get some easy buckets, it won't be as easy as it was on Saturday.
Well, we've got a great one for you here tonight from Arsenal Tech High School. The Alliance City title up for grabs. Christmas Attucks and Cathedral. More in our pregame when we come back on Indiana SRN.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School, just a few moments away from the tip for the Alliance City title between Christmas Attucks and Cathedral. Let's take a brief look at both these two teams. For Christmas Attucks, they're ranked 9th overall in the Sagarin ratings and 7th in the 4A Sagarin ratings. Meanwhile, Cathedral ranked 15th overall and 13th in Class 4A. We already mentioned how both these teams got here. Cathedral defeated Chittard 77-66 in the semifinals on Saturday. Meanwhile, in the early evening session of that same semifinal round, Christmas Attucks defeated Covenant Christian 96-69. In terms of common foes on the schedule, well, they're both 1-0, are Cathedral and Christmas Attucks. In the last 35 years, there haven't been many meetings between these two schools, but Cathedral has won all 3 of them, including last year, right around this time. In fact, almost a little over a year to the date. For the city title last year, Cathedral defeated Attucks 78-48. As I bring my broadcast partner Sean Kroll into the fray. Sean, one of the things that really jumped out to us when we were prepping for this game after the performances in the semifinal round was the disparity that we saw between the other 3 schools that were in the semifinals and Cathedral in terms of attempts at the foul line.
And I think that goes to show just how much Coach Delaney wanted to get in the ball in the paint with Mo and with Jake Davis, a 6'5" freshman. They want to get in the post. They want to have their guys run off of picks and get in the lane and get to the line, which they were able to do. They shot 38 free throws against Bishop Chittard. On the other side, Attucks against Covenant Christian only shot 10. So it's going to be interesting to see how Attucks can adjust and not let them get so down low in the blocks and get to the line so much. That's a difference in one of the keys of tonight's game.
From the perspective of both of these two teams, Cathedral clearly has the bigger bench. They have a little bit more depth. They're not afraid to go to that well. Attucks officially in the book in terms of who played in the semifinals just carry about 10. Do you envision that being a factor at all in a game like this, given how deep and fast-paced both these schools would like to play?
I don't think so. I think, we talked about Peter Moe on the side for Cathedral. On the side of Attucks, the guy that was big for them, Kushan Ware, had 21 points, 5 of 7 from three-point range. No shot scares him. So he's going to be the first guy off the bench. He's a guy to watch for Attucks as a 6th man that can come in and make a difference tonight.
For a perspective for fans that might be watching a city final for the first time, and you mentioned how much a city title means to Attucks, where does it rank up with how important the schools that have been here since the 20th century, where does this rank up with a state title? I know it's not the same prestige, but it is a piece of hardware that has it has an illustrious nature about it.
I think any IPS school, with the way they have been before, they want to bring back that heritage that history of keeping the city tournament title in IPS schools, and Attucks is their torchbearer right now in terms of basketball. So it's not really just Attucks, it's all of IPS that wants Attucks to have that victory and bring it back for the city.
Are you surprised as we go through that history that Cathedral's been as dominant as they've been in this event?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, Cathedral's Cathedral, right? So it is what it is.
We're going to step out. When we come back, we'll have Chris Attucks and Cathedral for the city title on Indiana SRN.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. We understand the challenges our clients face. That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know PIP and let us make your world a better place.
Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School. Just a few moments away from the start of the Alliance City Final. Tonight's national anthem performed by the Cathedral Irish Pep Band. As we would be remiss not to mention it on a basketball night like tonight, since they're taking a moment of silence about it here at Arsenal Tech High School. Sean, as a basketball fan just like myself, a true tragedy yesterday with the passing of Kobe Bryant. At the age of 41, in that tragic helicopter crash, taking, of course, his daughter, Gianna, as well. As looking at the news headlines as that broke yesterday and even today when we were in the hospitality room, it almost doesn't seem real. And maybe that's because I'm a little younger, but in terms of to see the death of somebody like that so young at my age gap, it's weird. I keep thinking it's a movie, that it's something that's gonna pinch myself, and tomorrow it's not gonna be true, but I'm still at a loss for words for it, to be honest with you.
I'm the same way. I mean, I'm old enough to remember. I mean, I was in my 20s when he came into the league as a teenager, and we saw him grow, and he's very much into his daughters playing, and the family thing, 7 other people as well on that helicopter. It just makes you want to hug people a little bit harder, knowing that you never know when your day's going to come. So always tell the people that you love them. Don't ever miss an opportunity for that.
Amen. Yesterday, great demonstrations all across the NBA and all across all walks of basketball, whether it's women's ranks of college basketball, the men's ranks, all honoring Kobe Bryant. Definitely an impact on a lot of the young men taking the floor tonight. Speaking of which, we take a look at the starting lineups. First for the Cathedral Irish, at one guard, a junior, Jalen Johnson. At the forward position, a senior, number 3, Grant Togg. At the other guard slot, a sophomore, number 12, Tayshawn Comer. At the other forward position, a senior, number 13, Ryan Tressler. And the other forward, a freshman, number 15, Jake Davis. Head coach of the Irish is Jason Delaney, 64-22 in his 4th season at Cathedral, 242 and 127 overall in his 16th season at the helm in general in high school basketball across this great state. And now a look at the Christmas Attucks Tigers. At one guard, a senior leading the way, averaging just under 26 points per game. Number 0, Sincere McMahon. The other guard slot, also a senior. Number 1, Jason Hall. At the forward position, a junior. Number 2, Donovan Barnett. At the other guard slot, a senior. Number 5, Malik Kansmore. And rounding them out, another guard and a junior. Number 22, Jalen Carson. Head coach of the Tigers is Chris Hawkins in his 4th season, leading the charge. He is 76-21, including a state title in 2017. And as I welcome Sean back in the fray with the Irish in their traditional, actually alternate jerseys tonight, black background on the jerseys with the gold numerals lettering and the black trim, traditional home whites with the green jerseys. Numerals and lettering and the white trim. Sean, keys as we wait for the tip here for both these teams.
I think, for Attucks, we talked a little bit with Coach Hawkins. He wants to try and not let Cathedral get a lot of position in the post to start with. He wants them to make tough shots as well, but just run your game. For Coach Delaney, he said, we got to play more discipline, so we'll see what happens.
The Tigers win the tip, and Hall controls on the far right side. Attucks loves to try to go quick to the basket. They attempt 2 right there. That layup's off the mark. Last touch by the Irish, though. We talked about in the semifinals. How quick both of these offenses like to run, but also how high scoring the offensive attacks are for both these teams. I don't expect to see 96 out of Attucks again, but they showed that they can pretty much score at will if you're not going to contest and stop at the immediate point of attack.
They did, and they like to get it to Barnett, that's Carson, I apologize. Carson, who got it down low against Fag, went strong to the hole. The thing about Attucks is none of these guys are afraid to take any shots. I haven't seen Cathedral enough, but I have seen Attucks enough to know none of them are afraid to shoot their shots and take what they can, as that one goes in for Carson. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of, again, that feeling out process here early and what each team likes to do defensively.
Harrison Fag commits the personal foul that sends Carson to the charity stripe. So we mentioned the free throw disparity. Well, how the Tigers strike blood first is by getting to the line. 2-0 here early as the Irish look to kind of feel things out with their first offensive possession.
Coleman was a big player on Saturday against Chittard.
Comes into this one averaging just under 17 as Trussler controls the top around a screen. The Tigers try to send a double, and they go right down low to Fag. We're tied at 2 as he gets that quick release on the right block.
That's the fundamental attitude of Cathedral. Find that open guy they did down low.
Tigers try to move quickly. A pass in the corner to Tansmore off his fingertips. Unforced error there. The Irish will get it back.
Another key, watch the body language of Attucks. You can tell as it's going bad. If it continues bad and their body language goes bad, it could be a bad night for them.
Yeah, you can't let this be an avalanche, especially if you're going to be committing unforced turnovers. It's a great point, Sean, as the Irish say, just hold on for a second, I'll match your turnover. They do just that, and the Tigers will get it back.
Trussler's going to be a key tonight as well, as he's guarding Sincere McMahon from the get-go.
We mentioned it in our pregame coverage, but I am interested whether it's Fag or whether it's Peter Moe off the bench for the Irish, how often they decide to play inside, and how quickly on plays like that, as Fag had the coverage on that triple attempt by Carson, how easy or difficult it's going to be for the Irish bigs to operate with spacing or having a stretch big man on the other side for the Tigers.
That's the difference. Cathedral's bigs stay down low, whereas Attucks will bring them out and stretch them out and see if they can get him either with the shot or on the three. On driving same play again.
Same shot, same result, a little bit further out from the block, but he's got 4. And so far the answer is that the inside play of the Cathedral bigs is winning this chess match early. Force pass inside, low for Carson. He almost turns it over. Looked like he was going to, but Trussler stepped on the baseline, so it'll stay here.
The key for Attucks is they have to be crisp with the basketball. They can't get lazy or showtime with their passes.
McMahon, the leading scorer, caught that low on the sideline. Coach Delaney proud of Trussler's defense so far on McMahon, at least in that small sample size on that possession. Hall gives to McMahon. Sincere rises and scores.
He's not a D1 recruit for nothing.
You can say that again.
He's not a D1 recruit for nothing. Sorry.
Comer on the drive. He's fouled at the line for 2 free ones. Tayshawn, another high-scoring piece to this Cathedral offense. We already mentioned Grant Togg a little bit, but Comer, just under 17 points a game, was a focal point in the semifinal victory. As you mentioned earlier, Sean, to go along with his play was the likes of Peter Moe, who we've mentioned a couple times. I expect at some point Coach Delaney to go to the bench, probably in relief for Fag, given the way they like to operate their offense.
And the thing about Comer is he's only a sophomore, so he's got 2 more years going. So that's pretty impressive.
3 in the air and through for McMahon. Don't let him get on a roll.
That's what they want to do. Defense leads to offense.
Hall, feed inside, hesitation and some contact.
That's one of the things about Attucks that makes them so good is a lot of their offense is predicated off of their defense. Their quick hands, getting steals. You'll see guys when a shot goes up for Cathedral, they'll leak out for that outlet pass, and boom, they're trying to score quick.
Anytime you get an opportunity to cherry pick and you know that you're not going to be costing the team doing so, you got to take advantage of it.
And now you get 2 freebies for it.
Got to earn them the hard way, though.
Yeah, as we're watching this, Coach Delaney will wear a path in front of that bench tonight, and he won't sit down.
We saw the way that he was. We saw the way that he was pacing back and forth in the semifinals. Definitely a signature trait of Coach Delaney.
He is a pacer. Yeah, there's already some conversations about the officiating, which is interesting. So we'll see what comes of it.
Pass in the corner off the missed free throw on that drive off the mark. Second chance, no. Will there be a third chance? It'll be out of bounds off of Carson.
That's a good sign, though, for Attucks to get that many offensive rebounds and extra opportunities. That bodes well for them if they can keep it up.
Tanzamore splits those free throws, so it'll just be a 2-point lead, and that lead is gone. Triple made by Johnson. Irish take the advantage back, 9-8. McMahon wants to answer. That one short, and the board on a nice seal box out by Trussler. They want to push. Comer, little euro, puts it up off the window. Too strong. The board falls to Hall. And now the Tigers so quick to run out. McMahon calling for it. Hall didn't see him. Instead of no-look pass inside. And the layup is good by Barnett. Maybe Hall did see him, but wanted an easier shot inside and pulled the defense out to McMahon.
That was beautiful, and here we go. The track meets on. I hope you got your track shoes ready.
Johnson, floater, and one! Jalen Johnson scored the last 5 for the Irish, and a chance to make it a 2-point game.
As we see Mo getting ready to check in as well. I think that's on Carson.
Good eye there, Sean. We knew it was going to happen eventually, and as we predicted, they'll swap big fellows, a revolving door of size. As Fag will take a seat and Mo will come in.
I'm interested to see Trussler's on the bench now for Cathedral, who picks up McMahon on the defensive end.
Johnson to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. He does. He has 6.
And it looks like it's Comer.
Feed inside, and what's the call there? They'll say it's a foul against the Irish on the floor.
Ooh, interesting. Togg. We had to make sure to get that pronunciation correct before we went on the air numerous times. Great defense there by Cathedral in the inbound play. They're trying to get Sincere going.
You see so many teams fall asleep on those, regardless of what level it's at. Sometimes you just get caught napping, but you're right, Cathedral digging in on that inbounds. The triple is off the mark, and a foul 90 feet away from the basket called against Jason Hall.
That three was Kushan Ware, who we talked about in the pregame, the freshman. If he's got any space, he's going to jack it up. But I love the way that Carson is playing. He's been a monster on the board so far for Attucks.
Irish trying to add to their 2-point advantage. Working around the horn. Comer wanting to get it inside to Moe, who led the way in scoring for the Irish on Saturday in the semifinal. Great sealing defense, though, by Jalen Carson. So far, showing his ability to guard in the post. Togg's pass is a wild one. He thought he had a cutter in Brady. And there's miscommunication there. Another turnover for the Irish. Turnover number 3 by my count.
Yeah, you've got Tyran Rogers in for Attucks. He did not score against Covenant Christian on Saturday.
Something to keep an eye on if he's able to make an impact here tonight. McMahon's the main one, though, as that three is just long with the rebound. Skying high for it. How about that? Smallest player on the floor, and Hall goes up to get it and extend the possession for Christmas Attucks.
Gotta love it.
Hall, fancy dribble moves. That is set the other way, though. Rebound controlled by the Irish, and another foul, this time against Hall. He bumped the body of Brady.
I think Hall was trying to do too much right there. Last year, he was an absolute spark plug for them off the bench as they tried to make a comeback against Cathedral. It's one of those frustration fouls, did a little bit too much. Coach is sitting him down, let him think about it.
Also sitting him down with 2 fouls now to his name. Something you can't have right now, and a travel out front. Well, give the ball back to the Tigers.
We've had spurts of speed, but then there's still the feeling out process going on here with it being 12-10, but I don't expect that to last much longer.
I don't either. You mentioned it off air, how Attucks like to kind of feel out their opponent a little bit before they turn on the Jets. How much of that from what you've seen early as a weird possession?
Yeah, they're right there.
Looked like a turnover a second for the Irish. Eventually is. We'll hold that thought. Moe rises up for 2 hands. Peter Moe, we didn't see him dunk it on Saturday night. 30-second timeout. That'll stay here.
That'll get the crowd going quickly, won't it?
That lead is 4. I was going to ask you, though, how much of what you've seen early from Attucks appears to be them feeling it out, and how much of it is that the Irish have a step on them in the early going?
I think the defense that Cathedral's showing them is completely different when Covenant showed them on Saturday. I think they're trying to adjust to it and figure out who they want as their main ball handlers. Obviously, McMahon's one. Chris Chin just came in. Chin had a great game on Saturday, but they got to be confident in their ball handling now that Hall is on the bench with 2 fouls.
Let's take one more look at that beautiful find and slam.
Nice pass there from Togg. Moe's big enough. He's going to flush that every time.
Out of the timeout. Attucks will bring it up the length of the floor. 2 minutes left in this opening quarter of the Alliance City Final. McMahon from the foul line got it to go. McMahon now with 7 rather. 2-point game. On the drive. Loose ball. Last off of the feet of Brady.
A lot of craziness with the ball going on back and forth and just going everywhere. A lot of ball on the floor, a lot of mishandling of it. Not something you expect from these two.
Feed inside. Barnett had it stripped away, so it'll stay on this end. And we'll see Tanzamore come back for Chris Attucks and Trussler for the Irish.
As well as, it looks like, Tibbs.
Yep, Ron Tibbs checks in. Quick inbounds there to Tyron Rogers, and so you mentioned Sean didn't get in the points column in the semifinal, but a chance to jump in there tonight.
Keith just pointed out from the sidelines, they're going to try and get it down low, and I think this is exactly what they wanted, is to get Mo in foul trouble. And he's got one now, so we'll see what happens next time down.
First one's good. Well, that interesting aspect is that how quick before Coach Delaney says, well, sure, one of my big men's in foul trouble, but Harrison Fage's on the bench, resting right now.
Yeah.
I'll throw him back in there. Free throw split, and Mo gets the board. Irish lead is 1.
That is the benefit of Cathedral's depth.
That'll get you places, especially in tournament play. Foul en route to the cup as Camden Jordan wanted an opportunity to and one. Instead, they'll say the foul occurred on the wing. It'll be the 4th foul, make that the 5th foul, correction, on Attucks in this first quarter.
Both coaches working the referees because they both have a style of play they want to play, and they want the officials to go along with that, as every coach does.
Trussler goes into the backcourt to get it, and he'll cross the timeline. Matched up with McMahon. Nice crossover, and it's stripped. Good recovery by Sincere. Active hands, that is an understatement that time.
To do that without committing a foul is just fantastic.
Hand-eye off the charts there for McMahon. Brady in the corner. Under a minute to go in this first quarter. They go back to Brady. Inside to Mo. Tried to turn it home, but he'll head to the line for 2 shots. Now Rogers picks up his foul. A little tit for tat there.
You know, if I'm Coach Hawkins, I don't mind that foul at all. Why? Because he didn't score. You make him go to the free throw line and earn it there. You've got Rogers, I think, as that body to kind of help with that. There you go.
Paid off that time. We talked about the impressiveness of the Irish, the foul line in the semis. 86% from the charity stripe. A team very well known for their shooting, but hey, that happens sometimes. Miss both.
He'll take that every day of the week.
So it turns into no harm on the foul, and McMahon will try to spin down the lane. They'll kick on the wing. 3 in the air. 3 from the bottom of the net. To Sean Ware, the freshman from downtown, and the Tigers have the lead back.
If he gets going, boy, this could be really interesting.
Almost a turnover. Was last off of Ware, intended for Trussler. So it'll be a throw in from almost the far corner for Vincent Brady. He skips it over to Tibbs. Down the baseline, lays it up, and a friendly roll.
Woo!
Tibbs' first basket of the ball game. We're tied at 16.
That was a super friendly roll. I didn't think that had a shot, but what do I know? I'm up here and they're down there.
Sometimes the iron is kind. That time it was for Tibbs. 5 on the clock. McMahon, no look pass. Mo has it. He's got some time. Jordan heaves it. That's not even close. They ran out of time. Mo tried to get it up, but could not do it. We're tied at 16 at the end of 1, just like we started the game. We're right back on Indian SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Guys down here on the floor, Chris Hawkins is happy with the first quarter. Watch the inside game. That's going to be the key for them, the inside game this quarter.
Thank you so much, Coach. That's the coach, Keith Myers. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll. Here at Arsenal Tech High School, start of quarter number 2. We're tied just like we were to open things. 16 all, and we mentioned the inside play, a major factor for Attucks. That time their inside defense stays true. Look at a chance to push. McMahon, the step back. That was just off the mark. Thought that might drop from our vantage point. Amongst the trees that time was Tansmore, and as there's bodies on the deck to try to get that loose ball, it'll lead to a jump ball tie-up. Arrow will keep it here.
Wow, that was quite a defensive possession there for Cathedral after the easy missed shot on the other end.
Trying to get it in quickly. They do to Christopher Chin, who gives it back to Ware. In and out on the triple. Board secured by Tibbs.
That's not going to stop him from shooting because that looked almost down.
Has the green light the whole way. McMahon giving a little bit of space to Brady. He looks to field out for the Irish offense. Comer, they work it around the horn. Jordan faked the feed inside. Active communication all over for this Attucks defense. Extra pass. Brady hesitates. His floater's up and in. Vincent Brady, his first points of the night.
The sophomore with a nice little floater there. He struggled a little bit on Saturday.
Very nice soft touch for him on that one. Tansmore down the lane. Might have walked. It's an air ball. Rebound by Jordan. Pushes ahead to Brady. And he might try to go all the way to the hoop with it. Instead, they'll reset things. Haven't seen a lot of pick and roll utilizing Mo. They do there. Jordan on that extra pass, and is it another jump ball tie-up or a foul? It is a jump ball tie-up, and the Irish force an extra possession out of it as Rogers was not ready for that quick tie-up by Jordan.
They kind of got him at their own game there. He brought the rebound down, but he kept it low by his waist, and Jordan did a great job of just reaching in, not fouling him, but grabbing the basketball and got a good call.
In a tight game like this, extra possessions can make the difference. That reverse layup is partially blocked. Mo is there to clean it up, though. Peter Mo with 4 now, and the lead is 4.
Cathedral is making up for their lack of rebounding in the first period. And
Tansmore had to throw that up there high off the window to adjust to the size and closing speed of Mo.
You will see here the first 3 from the freshman, Kushan Ware. If he gets any space, knock it down.
We talked about it. He has the green light all night.
I believe that's the second on Brady.
First free throw good by Carson.
But if you notice the last couple of possessions, Attucks seems out of sort on the offensive end.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're trying to feel Cathedral out this time. They just look a little bit flustered. Call lane violation against the Irish.
Oh, gets another shot at it. Can't have that either.
Both teams making a couple of miscues. Perhaps we'll mark it up to title game jitters. That one missed as well, though, and Mo clears the board. Johnson for 3. That's long, and the rebound controlled by Barnett. Attucks looking to push. They leave it with McMahon. He'll hesitate. Then the floater is true. 9 points for Sincere. They're back within 1.
He'll hit that shot in his sleep. You can't let him get that close to the bucket.
Tog, right side triple is money. And he gets his first points of the evening. Lead is 4, largest of the night for the Irish. Feed inside, nobody covered. Carson on the roll. He thought about slamming it and then wisely just laid it up.
There was that nice dish from McMahon. He was ready for it, though.
Tog thought about it again. They try to work it into Mo. It's an easy turnover. Attucks can go off to the races if they want. Up ahead, almost a turnover. Chin gathers it. Nice whip around pass. Barnett lays it in. I don't know how he got that and got the ball to avoid the baseline. But we're tied at 23 nevertheless.
What a great pass by Chin to the wide open Barnett.
Tog from the volleyball line. He knocked it down.
Oh, someone else is feeling it too.
2 threes in the corner for Tog. A 30-second timeout will stay here. And now it's starting to get into a little bit of a slugfest that we expected to see going in.
And Delaney is upset about this replay that you'll see. He's like, he cannot be this wide
pass
open.
Was beautiful.
Yeah, there was too many guys over in the corner, left Barnett all by himself. And that was the first thing Coach Delaney pointed out when they called that timeout. That cannot happen. You can't give Attucks those easy buckets.
The wraparound pass. We take a look at Tog's answer.
Long answer. I'm open. Bang.
Why not?
Yeah.
Gonna give me some space.
He'll knock it down. Tog's a really good player.
He shows it 9 in and 9 out for the Irish. It was a quiet start, but he's got 6 in a hot minute. Down the lane. That time McMahon, no. The board falls right to Tog. It's a 1-on-2. Tog has Jordan to his left. Instead, he'll finger roll it up and in.
Tog with 8. First quarter, Attucks is 2 of 6 from 3-point range and 3 of 10 from 2-point range. Cathedral got a lot more opportunities from the 2-point line, which is what they want to do, get down low.
McMahon, after the foul called against the Irish, that went against Johnson, his second. Attucks will feed inside, and a travel called against Carson. That time they tried to go inside, Sean, and we mentioned that was going to be a key out of the Attucks huddle from Coach Hawkins, but that time they got the matchup they wanted just a little bit too early there was Carson.
I think Coach Lenny's done a great job because a lot of people thought they would fall off losing Armand Franklin to the Indiana Hoosiers, but I'll tell you what, he's had some seniors step up and some younger kids like Homer as well. Cathedral is always dangerous.
Tog, hesitation, bit of his dribble in a bad spot. A reset with under 4 to go in this first half. Comer thinking about joining the three-point party. He's given all kinds of space by Carson. Instead he'll drive, and it's sent back by Carson. A 3-on-2. Hall leading the way. Nobody was behind him. And now the Irish will try a 2-on-2. A foul before the shot, they'll say. Comer wanted an and one, but they'll say it occurred before he began his gather.
Oh, they're going to give it to Chin. That's a surprise. I thought they'd give it to Hall. You got to be aware of your surroundings. You got 2 guys in front of you. Use them. I don't understand that.
And why that's critical that they gave it to Chin is Hall already with those 2 fouls.
Yes.
He pretty much would have been designated to the bench until the third quarter.
5-0 run right now for Cathedral. They can continue it here with the Comer free throws.
1-and-1 in effect, as that's the 7th team foul on Chris Attucks, and he fouls the rest of this half. Still a couple to play with for 1-and-1 opportunities until we get to the double bonus.
I think people that haven't seen Cathedral before are surprised at how quick they are in comparison to Attucks. They're very quick.
Free throw split. Tigers look to answer. That 3 is in and out. A couple shots like that, just unable to drop for the Tigers. That margin will still rest at 6. Comer to the rim. Finger rolling in.
Right there. Just saw the light. C parted. Got a crease. Went straight to the rack and got 2.
Comer with 4, the largest lead of the game for the Irish. McMahon, pump fakes. Gives the Barnett, wild shot off the mark. Second chance, Carson, he just threw it up there, and he turned it home. Jalen Carson throws up a prayer, it's answered, and a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
That was the luck of the Tigers on that one. Boy, I tell you what, that was thank you. That was an interesting shot, but it went down for him. And boy, at a time where they desperately needed it, Carson came through with the big offensive rebound and the putback.
Well, sometimes just get it near the rim, right? Just hope that the iron will take care of the rest, or the window, whatever it may be.
Once you get that contact and hear that whistle, just throw it towards the backboard.
Trying for the three-point play the hard way. It's converted. They needed that. cuts it down to 5 with 2:40 to go in the first half. All alone, Comer. That triple won't fall. McMahon gets the board. Does he want to push? He'll bring it back out for a second, and Chin travels. He hit that turnaround, though, but shuffled the feet first. It almost seems like that there's moments in their transition, as we'll take a look at that Comer layup. It almost seems like there's points in transition for the Tigers, Sean, that they're hesitant to really commit to going full speed. They kind of bring it back out at that point in time. It's almost like they second-guess themselves.
They do.
On the offensive side of things.
Nice shot going to the rack there. Yeah, I think they want the ball in Sig Sears' hands, and if he doesn't lead the charge on offense, they're kind of really unsure. Boy, Hall missed that easy layup.
And now the Irish the other way. A layup off the window is good. Jake Davis makes back in the ball game. His first points of the evening. Lead back to 7.
Attucks is leaving a lot of points on the table here. You don't want to do that against a good team like Cathedral.
Got to be deliberate with the basketball. That looked like it might be a charge, but it's called a blocking foul. The Irish faithful are dismayed about it. Perhaps Togg's feet weren't fully set. It'll lead to free throws.
That's his second. I don't know why I have one on the board. I have him for 2 fouls. Our statistician, Bill Ludlow, has him for 2 fouls as well. I trust Billy Ludlow.
Front end of the 1-on-1 off the mark.
That did everything but go down.
McMahon dismayed by that. Irish looking to add to the lead. Trussler working the handles. That's an illegal screen right away called against Davis. He kind of went upstairs with his screen. Can't do that. So the Tigers dodge a bullet there. Got to be very deliberate with the basketball, though, in this final $1:30.
Explain to people why they're not shooting free throws on that. Because they're in the bonus. It's a player control foul. Does not go to one in the bonus.
Feet inside. On the high post, spinning and turning off the window. That time it's kind again to Carson. The iron and the backboard have been very nice to him so far. Up the other end. The layup is good by Davis. He's got 4 from that same spot. Lead back to 7 as it's turned a little bit of a track meet scoring fest the last 2 times up and down for both these squads.
Attucks has to get back, but what a force Carson has been. He willed his way to the bucket there.
Skip pass in the corner. Barnett, offensive foul. And Davis, how about that? 4 points in the last minute and a half, and then takes the charge there.
I didn't remember him playing very much in the game the other night against Chittard, but boy, he's been a force off the bench. Much needed for Coach Delaney.
And on top of that, Sean, now with where the Tides are residing, this final minute, the Tigers need a basket. They can't let this go or they need a stop and then a basket. They can't let this go to double figures before halftime.
That is correct. The question is, I would have expected Cathedral to hold it, but it looked like they were getting ready to take it straight to the rack, so we'll see what they do offensively.
Well, it was the sophomore Jackson Edwards who got the basketball in the corner. Perhaps he was a little too eager, or perhaps Coach Delaney just said, hey, get the best shot you can. They'll work on the inbound. They give it back. Hall tried to play like a corner and disrupt that. He did not. Whew. And a foul is going to be called as Comer was trying to get to the rim. That brings the penalty still in effect. It's a 1-and-1. That's the only bright side there for the Tigers.
Well, if this was football, Davis would have decleated Jason Hall there.
You're not wrong.
He got bullied right there, I'm telling you.
First one is good for Comer. Seven points for Comer as he makes both. And the lead is 9, the largest of the game for the Irish. Tigers in desperate need of a basket before halftime. That might have been kicked. They'll play through, and the layup is good. It's ballooned to 11. Under 30 seconds to go before halftime.
Here's where the body language comes in.
Great active hands there by Edwards to force that steal and take it the rest of the way. McMahon feeds in the corner. Brady back to McMahon. He'll tee up from in front of the Irish bench. They needed a big bucket. They went to the leading scorer, and he knocked it down.
They needed that. Just can't give up a score here.
Edwards spins at the horn. Can't get the friendly iron. And so that much-needed triple makes it an 8-point deficit for the Tigers, but the Irish got to be thrilled with the way they played. They lead and are 1/2 away from their 17th city title. On top over the Tigers, 39-31. Stay with us. We'll have more after this on Indian SRN.
Parents, do you like free food? Hut, hike it on over to Prodigy Burger and Bar, where Monday is family night and kids eat free. Every day you can find daily specials featuring craft burgers, tacos, wings, and more. Prodigy is now playing the NFL Sunday Ticket on more than 25 TVs, so you won't miss a second of your favorite teams. Prodigy also caters, hosts private events, as well as dine and donates. Celebrate your school spirit with us at Prodigy Burger and Bar. More than just burgers, located in Clay Terrace in Carmel.
Did you miss the game everyone's talking about? Subscribe to our channel on YouTube and never miss a game again with pre-game notifications. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. And let's send it down to Keith Myers with our halftime guest, Tech Athletic Director Mosi Barnes.
Our tournament director, and I tell you, it's been a great tournament. Great crowd tonight.
Just Indiana high school basketball at its best. We hosting it here at one of the best gyms in Indiana here at Arsenal Tech High School. We couldn't be more grateful to host this tournament here.
Tell us a little bit about the history of this tournament for you. What is your favorite thing about this tournament?
Oh man, you get to see where you are as a ball team mid-season. I've been a part of playing in this tournament as a player, and also been a part as a coach playing in this tournament. And how we won it one year. I told Coach Hawkins before this game, we won a sectional, we won a regional, a semi-state, went to a state championship game, but nothing felt better than winning this city tournament.
And the pride of the city tournament is back. Everybody wants to win this thing because everybody wants to play here, but it's a Monday night. It's almost like a premier night because no one else is playing today.
That's what makes this magic, man. We just love getting up to be a part of this. There's no better place to do it in downtown Indianapolis to continue this tradition here. And the two best teams are playing in the championship game tonight, so we're going to see who wins this game.
You know this is a big game when the commissioner, the assistant commissioner, the secretary, and the treasurer's here. You know it's a big deal from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
Oh, yeah. I know they put a lot into what they do. It's great to have them here and be a part of this. We just want to make sure we're hosting this and do the best we can here at Arsenal Tech and represent this community.
How about Bobby Cox? All the history he's done that. This is the last time he won't yell at us anymore. How about that?
I said, hey, Mr. Cox, make sure you join. You could be a part of our hospitality room. This will be your last supper here this year.
There you go. I told him that, it's got to be kind of fulfilling because he was at Carmel. He gets to see all that. He's done a great job for high school basketball and the state of Indiana.
Oh, most definitely. He's done a great job of moving this sport, moving all our sports forward in Indiana. We're the mecca of all sports, but more particularly the mecca of basketball here in Indiana, and he's a big part of that.
And this guy's not taking any credit, but he's a pretty good basketball player. He can't shoot the ball well, at least that's what Coach told me, but you pass the ball well.
I don't know who told you that. I put it in the basket just as good as anybody that came through this Indiana in this city. That's my specialty, shooting. So whoever said that, they're probably not do a very good job of knowing what this game is about, but I ain't going to put them on the spot.
There you go. Thanks so much for your time. No problem, I just love talking with this guy because he knows how to talk smack, too. Back up to you guys.
Thank you so much, Coach. At our halftime break, it's the Irish 39 and the Tigers 31. Stay with us. We'll have the third quarter after this on Indian SRN.
Miss a big game by downloading the IHSAA TV app for free on any device. For your iPhone or Apple TV, check the App Store. On your Android or Android TV device, load up the Google Play Store. Have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? We have the app for you. Check us out on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live by searching for IHSAA TV. Or as always, click to IHSAATV.org for quick and easy access to your favorite IHSAA live and archived events.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Welcome back to halftime, 39-31 Cathedral. It is in the lead. Kyle Neverred with us, reading your stuff all week. This is a big game, only game really in Central Indiana that a lot of people pay attention to.
Yeah, I love this atmosphere. It's always fun. It's always the only game in the state. That's why they do it on Monday night, and it never disappoints. It's always a good crowd and a fun time.
I like how you mentioned Indiana SRN in your articles. Good job, Carla. Keep on doing that. Your check's coming.
All right. Keep them coming.
What do you think of the first half? What's Attucks got to do to get back?
I think pound the ball to Jalen Carson in the middle there. He's had a good first half, very active around the rim. We know what Sincere can do. He can go off at any time, but I think they can play inside-outside a little bit more. They'll have a little bit more success. They really got to do a better job defensively, though, keeping Cathedral from getting easy looks at the basket.
I think one of the other things is got to catch the ball. Once it gets inside, you got to catch the ball. And don't worry about the contact. You're going to get the foul.
Yeah, it's a good refereeing crew here tonight. These guys do a lot of city and county games. They're going to call the fouls when they're there. They're going to let them play. They're not going to call everything, but they're going to do a good job, I think, refereeing this game. Two teams that know each other really, really well, and they're doing a good job. I think both coaches kind of know what the other brings to the table. I think this game's going to tighten up, and it's going to be a good one throughout the night.
Kyle, we thank you so much for all you do for us and what you do for high school basketball.
Absolutely. Love doing it. Thank you.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
Hello, my name is Sean Kroll, and I've been a part of the Indiana SRN family for the last 9 years. Last year, we streamed a record 326 sporting events around Central Indiana. All the other guys broadcast basketball and football, but we at Indiana SRN also air volleyball, softball, baseball, and even golf. But we need your help. To continue our mission, please help us by contacting Coach at indianasrn.org. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
39-31 your score. Start of the second half, just a few minutes away. We're just 16 minutes away from crowning a Alliance City champion. Jimmy Cook alongside Sean Kroll. Our own, the coach, Keith Myers, working the sidelines. I want to thank you, the viewer, for choosing to spend part of your Monday night with us. Sean, in that first half, the Irish, in terms of the box score, look like they're dominating, but at times it's kind of been self-inflicted wounds by the Tigers, not getting quickly into their offensive sets, but maybe more or less trying to play isolation basketball with it and make a big-time play versus running their offense.
You know, we mentioned towards the end of the first half how many points that Attucks left on the floor. And you look at these 2-point numbers. I mean, 8 of 21 from 2-point range, and a lot of those they had opportunities within 6 feet of the basket but couldn't convert. And that's what you can't do in a game like this against a team like this. You know, Cathedral, they converted 12 of 16 on 2-pointers. Both of them are 6 of 9 from the free throw line, so that's pretty even. But, trying to keep Cathedral off the blocks hasn't really worked as well as they wanted to.
As we take a look at some of the first half highlights, Sincere McMahon and Jalen Carson for Christmas Attucks combined for 22 of the 31 for the Irish. A very balanced scoring attack. Does that surprise you at all looking at the box score?
Not at all. Not at all. That's Cathedral basketball, and I think Attucks needs someone to step up, and specifically I'm looking at Keyshawn Ware. I think they want to get him in this game and get him going, get him some looks to stretch out the defense to allow Carson and McMahon to do some more work.
Well, to your point, the freshman has been averaging right around 10 points per game, just 3 points for him in that first half. It was a great look from beyond the arc for him, but outside of that, pretty much quiet. He was one of your off-the-air X factors for this Tigers team.
Yeah, so was Peter Moe, and Moe's got 4, I think. He's got 4 for the Irish. So this, I'm not Nostradamus, thankfully, but we'll see what happens. I still think this is a game where one of those types of players is going to step up in the second half and be the difference. We'll see if Mr. Piper is right, if this comes down to the last possession.
How important are these first 4 minutes? How important are these first 4 minutes for the Tigers?
They're everything. They have to get off to a good start here in the second half, because that is when I talk about the body language. That's when the frustration sets in, and they resort more to the background, the playground type of basketball. And you can't do that against Cathedral, or they'll eat you alive.
I want to thank our statistician tonight, the great Bill Ludlow. 4 ties listed in that first half. The Tigers will start with the basketball, and an 8-point deficit to climb out of. They've trailed by as many as 9. Hall controls. Gives to McMahon. He'll force the issue. Feeds it inside. Little feed to his big fella in Jalen Carson. With Kyle Nedrup of the Indy Star briefly on, and that's exactly what he mentioned, was getting Carson involved early. We kind of alluded to that a little bit, but got to give credit where credit is due.
Hit the nail on the head, and I think not only because Carson is feeling pretty good tonight, but I think they want to get their bigs in foul trouble. That one was on Comer, however.
The Tigers were 6 of 9 from the charity stripe in that first half, make them 7 of 10 now, as that first one is good by Carson.
And that's as many free throws as they shot all game against Covenant Christian.
You got to be happy at least with that aspect, as both free throws good by Carson. He's now got 12, and the lead is trimmed down to 6 as we see the Irish first offensive possession of this second half.
And this is where it's really got to be different for Christmas Attucks, is to get them to one shot and then get the rebound so they can get their offense rolling.
Got to continue to be as active as you've been all season on the defensive end, and that was solid defense, at least from the way the official called that by Barnett. Little body contact between him and Togg, but they say Togg was out of control, just lost that out of bounds, and the Tigers will bring it up the floor.
I think it's a great no call.
McMahon working the handle. Sincere rises just off the mark. Carson down there amongst the trees could not secure the board, and here come the Irish.
He got tangled up in there and only had one hand to go up for the rebound with it, still almost got it.
Trussler looking for help, pick up the dribble in a bad spot. Has Johnson, an extra pass. Togg will reset things. The Irish have been very deliberate in their half-court looks in that first half. Togg kicks, Johnson catch and shoot is money. Jalen Johnson, his second triple of the ball game. He's got 9 on the night, and the lead is 9. Ties the largest of the game. Carson the answer, short, and a foul on the floor will go against the Irish. Loose ball call.
I think that's on Johnson, and that's his third. You cannot leave Johnson this wide open. They collapsed on him, and boy, you can't leave him open. Boom. Oh, I had him for 2. I apologize. Bill Ludlow says it's his third as well, so we'll see.
I trust the great Bill Ludlow with my life. The question is, though, that's going to be an issue moving forward for the scorers table down low if Johnson gets into further foul trouble. As Carson works down low, little spin jump hook, cuts it down to 7. I'm no surprise they continue to try to feed the big fella.
He's feeling it. If it isn't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly. Trussler got in a little bit of trouble. Did he turn it over? No, it was tipped. I think that's the right call. Some of the Tigers faithful didn't like it, but it looked like that McMahon might have got a hand in there.
I love the dichotomy of the coaches, whereas Delaney is just so expressive and upset and bouncing the basketball, and Hawkins, even when he's upset, he's calm on the sidelines.
Cool as a cucumber.
Yes. Both state champion coaches, by the way.
Just take each possession and each play, and obviously their coaching styles slightly different. Trussler try to go baseline. Now the Irish moving around the horn. Force pass inside to Mo. It's swallowed up. The Tigers collapse down. Hall off to the races. To the rim. No, put back. Not that time. And it's going to be off the hands of Tansmore. Another great opportunity for the Tigers to cut into the lead, and just could not buy the bucket.
There it is again, and you had a chance at a second rebound, but it slipped off your hands, and those are the possessions that can cost you a city championship. By the way, Coach Delaney won his with Tech here in 2014 with Trey Lyles.
Championship pedigree all over the floor. Feed inside to Mo. Little body contact, and it went on a bounds off of Mo. So it'll go to the Tigers, and Coach Delaney looked like he didn't realize it initially, nor did the Irish faithful. And now the reaction spread across the floor. Not a lot of arguing, though. Just some shakes of the head.
Great hands again by the defense of Attucks, and tried to throw it in off the backboard.
They tried to get cute with it, and that time almost a three-point play. Would have been a huge swing at against the Tigers at the expense of Chris Attucks. Instead, it'll just be 2 free throws, but Comer can continue to add to the lead. Not sure what happened there on the inbound.
He just didn't see where it was going and tried to get it up and over and hit the underside of the rim. Got to be aware of those things.
First free throw is good. One more upcoming for Comer. He's got 8.
Yeah, something's off because I had that as McMahon's first, but they've got him as his second. So interesting.
We'll call it his first.
We'll go with the scores table, even though I trust Billy Ledlow as well.
On the drive. That one off the mark by Tansmore. They've had 2 good looks from point-blank range, unable to put them down. Lead sits at 9. Hall tried to jump the passing lane. The Irish have numbers. Trussler throws it up there. The board to Carson. Hall on the cherry pick outlet. Puts it up and in. He wanted an and one.
Well, they finally got a layup to fall after missing 2 easy ones there recently.
That's Hall's first basket of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
Foul away from the basket.
Well, that's on
the Tigers.
That's on McMahon. That's his third, according to the desk. Now they corrected it. It's his second. Crying out loud.
30-second timeout. We'll stay here. This isn't even a drawback, just an observation. When you have so many different units working together for really the first time, second time if you count the city final, you have obviously the host staff here for Tech, but then you have the scorebook operators for both Cathedral and for Attucks.
Yeah.
If you're not on top of it and you're getting numbers from each side, things are going to get a little bit crosswired.
Well, that's huge for Attucks because, thinking that was the third on McMahon, that could have been crazy. And Keith has an update for us.
Yeah, the first 4 minutes was crucial for Attucks, and they didn't make any dent in the lead. Chris is going to do a couple other things. Watch the trap on the press.
Thank you, Coach. Doing a lot of work on the sidelines for us tonight. Coach mentioned not much of a dent done so far by the Tigers. The Irish look to inbound out of that timeout, and a foul, I believe, is going to go against the Tigers before the shot.
And that is McMahon's third. Trussler got way too open there on the inbound play.
And they fell asleep, almost tried to go back to the well of Trussler again. They do, but this time it's in the far corner. 4.5 to go in this third quarter.
Neither team can relax with their opponent, and if you bat your eye for just a second, you're going to give up buckets.
Mo thought about a little give and go. Instead, he'll work on Carson. Pitt was dribbling a bad spot. Little step back action. Comer, not that time. The board is controlled and taken by Ware. McMahon will bring it up. Full head of steam. Little contact and one. Late to come over to take that charge was Mo. Wasn't fully set. and a huge three-point play opportunity upcoming for the senior.
If you're Mo, you just got to let him go to the bucket and not give him that chance. He tried to act it out well, wasn't very good at it, so the referee's going to call that all day.
And credit to McMahon for seeing where Mo was stopping and going around it. So at that point in time, all Mo could do was try to lean and draw some contact, and it's a block, and it's a 4-point game.
Great body control by Sincere McMahon. They got it down to 4. They need another stop, and
look like that might be a moving screen as Hall comes up limping. They'll get him checked out, and they'll bring in Christopher Chin.
That's on Hall. That's his third, and we're already got 4 on Attucks and 3 on Cathedral so far here early in the second half.
Let's see if the Irish can take advantage of the foul trouble against the Tigers. Comer controls around a screen, calling for a little bit more movement. Now Brady, who's been quiet for most of the night. Comer turns it over. Pass up ahead to Chin, to the rim, lays it up and in. It's a 2-point game.
He could be a key for them. He had 16 against Covenant Christian.
Is he starting to wake up a little bit? Pass inside, they lob to Mo. A lot of contact, they play on, and closing on the weak side was Johnson.
Great weak side help there by Jalen Johnson.
He's got 11, the lead's back to 4. Chin. Feed inside, beautiful back cut and screen, frees up Carson.
He's been the big dog tonight for the Attucks.
2-point game.
This is what we wanted.
Comer gives to Brady in the corner. Johnson, he's been hot, but that one's short, and Johnson tracks down the board. Comer tried to smell blood in the water and force a shot up, got his own board again. Comer first to it twice. Lead back to 4.
What tenacity by Comer to follow his shot and get it for another go.
For the Tigers, though, you got to be happy with the margins you've been able to cut down. This is still a 4-point manageable deficit, as that's a return to sender block by Vincent Brady.
Great job here of Carson seeing the opening, and what a look by Tansmore as Mo lost him underneath.
Seen a lot more activity down low. Force feeding Carson, and that was a well, they'll call it a charge on Carson, but
Davis has been a catalyst, but man, oh man.
Full timeout, we'll take one as well. 48-44, 4-point lead for the Irish on Indiana SRN.
Life comes at you fast, so it's important to have some help along the way.
Ah, my favorite patient. Ah, my favorite patient.
When the dust settles, it doesn't always end as anticipated. Embrace the journey and care for the ones around you.
My favorite patient.
For everything else and every stage in between,
my favorite patient.
Methodist Sports Medicine is here for you.
Check out our YouTube channel and watch more than 700 archive games. Subscribe today, Indiana SRN. Thank you.
That's Sean Kroll, Jimmy Cook. High above Arsenal Tech High School. 48-44 your score. A 4-point advantage for the Irish with the basketball, but Coach Hawkins has to be happy with what his group's put together in the back end of this third quarter.
Keith updated us during that break, and he likes what's going on. They just got to ratchet it up a little bit defensively, and they're okay.
Coach Delaney, meanwhile, wants his team to keep the foot on the gas and try to get a little more separation. We'll have to work hard for it, though, against this Attucks defense. It's looked like it's locking in a little bit the last couple possessions. Trussler kicks. Brady, little Euro. Floater, no. That's a high tip that Brady somehow gathers with some contact. Davis will reset things. They force inside to Brady. A wild possession out of sorts, and they're going to call a foul on Christopher Chin. Oh, my goodness. That looked like a clean strip from up here.
What? I'm telling you what, all the 50-50 balls are going Cathedral's way. So Attucks has to find a way to get, when those balls get loose on the floor, they got to find a way to get them.
That's the 6th-team foul on the Tigers, and any more the rest of the way leads to some free throws. Tog to the rim, lays it up and in.
Cannot give him any space.
He's got 10, lead is 6. A triple on the other end. That one way off the mark. Might have been forced there by Ware. Irish now trying to re-add to this lead. And there's a turnover. McMahon has the numbers. Pass inside. Great help defense by Jordan, but able to get it back with his long wingspan was Tansmore.
Wow. I thought he lost it, but somehow he went go-go gadget arms and got it back.
And the lead down to 4. 1 minute to go in this third quarter. Nice hesitation by Tog. The help defense, though, is going to make him earn it. As Tansmore closed, but a little body contact there.
He took the freshman to school right there. Ware didn't know which way was which.
Lulled him to sleep on the jab step.
Yes, he did. We'll see. We'll watch it right here. Watch. Here we go. Oh, see ya.
But the free throw off the mark, so you'll take the Tansmore foul. That's his second, but worth it given the margin right now.
They're adding up, though. 7 fouls for Attucks, only 3 so far this half for Cathedral. And we noticed
both free throws missed, and the big-time board taken by Tyron Rogers, who checked back in during that stoppage. And there's a 4th-team foul now on the Irish, and that's going to go against Jordan, trying his best to slow down the speedy Sincere McMahon.
That's where Cathedral had an advantage against Chittard, was getting to the free throw stripe 22 more times. So Attucks has to be very careful.
Got to force the Irish to commit those fouls. They definitely have the pace and the speed to do that if they can get a defender out of position. Hall, who was on the bench with those 3 fouls, checks in. Another 3 from Ware. That one short. He's missed his last 2 from that wing. Up ahead, the Irish. It's sent back by Tansmore, but a foul. And I believe they've issued a technical foul somewhere.
On who?
The official made an indication like he was going to throw out a technical. I don't know who it's going against, though.
We didn't know a block party was going to break out tonight. So it looks like we're going to get the 2 foul shots on the block shot as we see
one
here.
More look at it. I want to see if he got it or not. I think he got that block. That didn't hit the glass. So unless they got him with the body.
And who is the let's go to Keith Myers for an update.
Send it to coach.
The officials are talking now about the unsportsmanlike. I think it was a clean block, but I got blocked out of what happened underneath the basket. You might have a better shot at it. So both officials, all 3 officials talking. I like this move because they send them to the bench, and they don't want to talk to the coaches until they got it right.
That's a great point, Keith. Thank you. You want to make sure, and you don't want any interference. Get the call right, and then go to the coaches and let them know what they're going to call. Let's see if we can take a look at it one more time here. Yeah. Well, see, it does look like, unless they called it on the body, but they kind of go off screen there, and the referee comes in. So what we're waiting to hear, they're talking to each of the coaches here.
Got it.
Look.
Get a personal foul on Tansmore. And Coach Hawkins doesn't look happy.
They got a double technical foul. 1 on Cathedral, 1 on Attucks.
They got a double technical foul, 1 on each guy, so they kind of negate each other.
Look, here's my 2 issues with that. Not the double technical, but the foul called on Tansmore on what looked like a clean block from the 2 looks that we got on it. We didn't have the side angle, but straight on. And then secondly, that's a big time play. There's going to be a couple words there.
Yeah.
No one's cursing at each other.
I don't know that
2 technicals are necessary there, even
that,
if they do offset.
Yeah, because then that gives a guy another personal foul. So now Tansmore has 4 fouls, and Brady has 3.
If your goal is to teach a lesson there, separate the players and have a conversation with both of them. Don't dish out 2 technicals that might get them disqualified down the line.
So I'm assuming that becomes a jump ball with a double technical, and then possession goes to Cathedral?
No.
So why does Cathedral get the basketball here?
Come on down, Derek.
Let's send it to Keith for an update.
By rule, the ball is a dead ball foul, so they get the ball out of bounds as well.
All right, there we go.
And now you're going to have players on Attucks trying to make a play and force the issue. If anything, that just makes things more tense than it does to dissolve the situation.
Ratchets up the emotions even more.
Final 15 seconds of this third quarter. The Irish lead back to 6 after that debacle.
And Cathedral needs a stop, or Cathedral wants a basket, and Attucks needs a stop desperately.
Hanging and scoring off the window is Brady to end a appreciative third quarter if you are the Cathedral Irish. They lead by 8, 54-46, and are 8 minutes away from another city title. Back after this on Indiana SRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Welcome back to Arsenal Tech High School. Start of the fourth quarter about to get underway. Irish on top by 8, and they got that 8-point margin off an impressive drive to end that third quarter.
What great body control by Brady. It was desperation mode because the clock was running down. And he split the defense, double pumped, and it went in. And we're where we were when we came out of the halftime, 8-point lead.
And McMahon with those 3 fouls, you saw him, he kept his hand straight up and almost gave Brady the lane because he didn't want to pick up a cheap 4th one.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised Ware's on the floor still because he's had a couple of air balls, his last 3s. They need him to step his game up.
Coach Hawkins putting faith in the freshman. Let's see if he gets rewarded for it. Hall all pressured by Trussler, and a little too much pressure there as he commits the foul.
I think that is also one more foul, and Attucks is in the bonus.
So now the foul's starting to meet in the middle a little bit. Any fouls the rest of the way committed by Chris Attucks leads to 2 free throws.
Attucks did not make a 3-point bucket in that third quarter.
Huge difference maker there. McMahon's floater's up and in. See if he can get on a little bit of a roll as the lead's back down to 6.
Cathedral made 1, 6 of 10 from the floor, 2-point range for Attucks.
That's an offensive foul. Comer got baited by the senior. He extended the arm right in front of the official. That's going to be a turnover.
Can't extend that arm thanks to Billy Pete's Basket Ludlow for the update.
As always.
I don't think he can hear me.
McMahon receives the inbound. Let's see if that swing of the double technical and all that is able to be motivation for the Tigers. They've got a couple stops out of it so far. Down the lane, almost a three-point play for Rogers. Thought he was going to turn that home.
We did not see that from Rogers at all against Covenant Christian, but he went strong to the rack there. Almost got the and one, and they called Davis for a foul. That was a nice little move. Or a big move because he's a bigger guy.
Exactly. There's clearly a sense of urgency now for the Tigers, but Rogers, the big fella, off the mark with that first free throw. They'll have one more.
And Keith chimed in on our headsets that you can sense the intensity on the floor, that's exactly what you want in the fourth quarter of the city championship.
Rogers left that one short. The rebound is secured by the Irish. Palmer wants to push all the way to the rim, and he's fouled.
I think that's going to be on McMahon.
McMahon doesn't like it. Indeed it is, and I believe that's his 4th.
I believe that is correct.
So what do you do with 7:09 to go if you're Coach Hawkins? Do you send him to the bench or do you let him play with the 4 fouls?
I don't know. Somebody's at the scores table. We're just not sure who he's coming in for. It's Carson. But I think you got to keep him in as Comer misses.
They'll take out Rogers, so they will indeed. No guts, no glory. Roll with McMahon, the senior and the leading scorer.
How do the kids say it? Ride or die?
No, he is. The way he scores the basketball, he is a ride or die for sure. Coach Hawkins feels that way, and both free throws missed, so no harm done there. Hall controls on Trussler. Creates some space, and a little body contact that time by Davis. Well, here's where things might shift to the Tigers, Sean. The way the officials are starting to go quick to the whistle now, if you can beat them off the dribble and you know that contact's coming, free throws will follow.
Free throws will follow. Here's some stats for you. For the year, free throw percentage, Attucks 70.6, Cathedral 75.4.
Hall makes the first.
Two very good free throw shooting basketball teams. That's going to be a huge. Cathedral was 33 of 38 in the semifinal. Attucks was 10 of 10.
33 of 38 is still mind-boggling. Hall misfired on that one, but he got the board. It bounced right to him, and they'll get a free possession out of it.
Ware really helped by tipping that basketball.
That's a good point. McMahon playing with those 4 fouls. The three. It's good! Sincere McMahon from way downtown. It's a 2-point game.
Now is when it's going to get loud.
The Irish have an answer. Togg hesitates and gives to Trussler. They're reset. The Tigers faithful. They're starting to get into it. That's a play-on foul, but Brady's there to put it back in.
They are so good at crashing the boards on the offensive end.
The junior just out-muscled everybody. Lead back to 4. McMahon had the big 3 a moment ago. And a charge.
And he's fouled out.
And that's the 5th on McMahon. Looked like Davis might have been falling back early. The official says otherwise. And the leading scorer for the Tigers will head to the bench with 6:11 to go in this one.
I have him for 20 points. And that is a huge blow for the Tigers.
Well, who will step up for the Tigers now? They've got some playmakers, but McMahon, no doubt the heart and soul of this team. He's frustrated on the end of the bench, rightfully so.
Need a guy like Chris Chin, the freshman Ware, to step up offensively along with Carson.
And they'll call a hand check call against Barnett. Let's take a look at what is McMahon's last bucket of the night. This big-time triple.
Boy, from our end, I thought it was short, but it went right through.
And now you'll parade the Irish to the charity stripe. Tayshawn Comer at the line for 2.
Missed his last 2.
That one's pure. We'll have one more.
That's the reverse broadcaster jinx, I think. 2 shots all the way for both squads.
That one rattles home. 4 straight for the Irish, 6-point game. You're going to need quickness there by Hall to kind of lead the way at the point guard slot.
I think they got to go to Carson here to get a bucket.
The senior, he's fouled. That's another thing, though. Sean, I don't think that anybody on the floor for the Irish can keep up with Hall. And if they're going to keep reaching in on him, he's going to get free throw opportunities, or better yet, to your point, he's going to draw defenders to force it inside to Carson.
67% free throw shooter on the year. He's 2 for 2 on the evening. Or did he miss? Did he make the second one? No, he missed the second one last time.
He got his own board.
Yeah, got his own board. I didn't mark it on my book. But, you absolutely, it's imperative to knock down every free throw if you're Attucks. You cannot waste any opportunity from here on out.
Hall took a long look at it, almost like a golfer setting up a putt there.
Or trying to draw someone into the lane early.
Exactly. It's well said. A very good point. One more for him. That one's good. He makes them both. 4-point game. Tigers need some stops. Irish have scored on their last 2 trips. Brady Working on a one-on-one. They get it to Togg. He's all alone. Loves that elbow. That one's good. Grant Togg saw some daylight. Lead back to 6.
Nice stop and pop there from Togg. Knocked it down from 15.
Chin, nice crossover. Floater. He's fouled, and is it a charge or a block? They'll call it a blocking foul. Well, the trailer, it should be noted, the trailer that was overruled there is the one that called the charge on McMahon.
Right.
That time it looked like he was going to get baited again, and the far side official overruled him.
And it was Davis again as well.
It was.
So, you know, McMahon's over there biting his lip like, why couldn't you done that on mine?
Yep.
Chin is 65% free throw shooter on the season.
That one off the mark. Tigers leaving points at the foul line. They'll start to add up here, especially with your best player on the bench out of the game with those 5 fouls. First one, second one rather, is up and good.
We have 2 former officials on our side here, and they're saying the courtesy is the first whistle gets it. So, but you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Pass in the corner. The Irish will bring it back out. Krog might have pushed off. Finger roll, no. Rebound taken by Brady. He's stripped. And here come the Tigers. They'll push it ahead. 3 in the air. 3 off the mark, and the rebound skying high for it is Johnson. He wanted to push, but now the Irish will wisely walk it up the floor with a 5-point lead in pocket.
Boy, if Ware could have knocked that down, the roof may have come off this joint.
You can see Hall trying to bait an offensive foul there, and they call a block.
And that's his 4th.
They had Togg earlier on one where he extended the arm. That time they say that Hall initiated the contact. And it'll send Comer to the charity stripe. Comer's first free throw is good.
I think the biggest lead tonight has been 8, 9?
9 has been the largest lead of the game for the Irish. It's up to 7. As the Tigers still searching for a little bit of juice on offense. You feel the air kind of come out of the building when McMahon fouled out. They're looking for some type of answer. Chin to the rim. Beautiful handles, and he gets some space, cuts it to 5. Now in search of a stop.
Can he be a spark?
Irish have answered every call presented by the Tigers. Comer matched up with Chin. He draws a double. They left Togg. Now they'll reset. Under 4 to go.
The help defense has to be huge here because Cathedral crashes the boards. You can't let him get an easy second chance.
Comer hands off to Johnson. They skip it to Brady. Brady to the rim. Wild shot off the window and a big-time board for the Tigers. They'll look to push. Chin gives it. Ware's been cold. Is that one down? That one's long, but he followed his shot and he's fouled. A frustration foul that time by Togg, and it'll send Ware to the charity stripe for 2.
That's Togg's 3rd, and boy, that poor kid, he can't get it going. He was on fire Saturday night, but he cannot get one to fall at all tonight. He hit 1 3-pointer early in the first quarter, but has missed like 5 in a row since then as he hits that free throw.
Well, that free throw looked pure. That's good that the struggles from beyond the arc have not translated to the foul line, number 1, and number 2. Anytime you just see the ball go into the hoop, even if it's on a free throw, sometimes that can help. That last 3-pointer was close. It just rattled out on him.
He was 5 of 7 on Saturday from 3-point range.
3-point game, and the Tigers are going to briefly take out Ware.
You can see here, Chin, up, go. Chin's important for them because he's handling the basketball.
Perhaps a little bit of offense, defense. They're going to take the freshman out momentarily.
And great job by McMahon going over to him and telling him, keep your head up, young man. 1 of 6 from three-point range for Ware
Hall
tonight.
keeps trying to draw the offensive foul on these drives by Comer. Now to Trussler. He's trapped. Trussler has it stolen away. They push it to Hall, and he will bring it back out. Hall feeds inside. Extra pass. And it might be off the knee of Barnett. Are they going to call a shooting foul?
Wow.
So the far side official, the baseline official looked like he was going to call out of bounds. He blew his whistle to do that. And then the far side official comes in and says it's a shooting foul.
And that's Brady's 4th. But I love what McMahon's doing. McMahon's the biggest cheerleader on the sideline, not letting fouling out get him down.
Barnett gets that one to go. Donovan Barnett has not had a basket since the first half.
Since early in the second quarter.
And a chance to make this a 1-point game.
This is why you love Indiana high school basketball. Attucks looking for their first city championship since 1962. Oh, and the bank is open.
That one, and it's a 1-point game. Well, you can tell everybody in the building knows the Irish dominance in this tournament over the year. And another strip that time by Hall. Up the floor come the Tigers. And they'll reset things to try to get in their half-court offense. But the building knows how much this means to Christmas Attucks, how dominant this tournament's been for Cathedral this century.
This is going to be up for grabs if Attucks scores here.
Chin matched up with Trussell. He likes that matchup. Crossed him up. Step back for the lead. Off the mark. Hall almost the board. It's last touched by the Irish. How about the little fella staying active on the glass?
His hands have been everywhere, and if you're not wearing Cathedral here, you are for Attucks if you can hear it in the building.
Full timeout will take one as well. It's down to 1, the Irish advantage on Indian SRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
.225 to go in this one. Irish with a 1-point lead. Attucks with the basketball. They're outscoring Cathedral 15-8 in this quarter. Ware for 3. No. Rebound Hall.
The little guy again.
They thought they had numbers. Hall forces the issue. Little sideways turnaround. That's off the mark. And a blocking foul is going to be called, or a loose ball foul rather, on Barnett. 90 feet away from the basket. That's his 4th, and that's the last thing you wanted there.
They had 2 chances there. I'm telling you this, Ware, if he gets it at the end of the game with a shot, with a chance to win it, he is not going to hesitate. He's going to keep firing.
Shooters keep shooting is the old adage.
That's 4 on Barnett.
So now we'll send the senior, Grant Togg, to the charity stripe to give a little bit more cushion to Cathedral. That one's good.
Rogers on the bench for Attucks only has 1 foul. And
one
just
more
like that,
coming for Togg.
Rogers is in.
Hall, Chin, Rogers, Carson, Ware. The 5 out there for the Tigers.
Still a 1-possession game.
Comer, Jordan, Togg, Trussler, Davis out there for the Irish. 2 minutes to go. Sean mentioned it's a 3-point game. Still just 1 possession. They don't need the 3. Hall says, I want it. That's off the mark. Davis high for the board. Chin rather, the layup, no. And the board secured by Davis. They got 2 decent looks at it.
He lost his balance coming down.
Yep.
Couldn't right himself to shoot it.
The Tigers in need for a stop. The Irish might take a 4 corners approach or just milk this all the way down and try to get a good shot. All the way to the rim. A lot of contact. He missed the layup.
Wow.
They play on. Rogers looking for a guard. Instead of pushing up himself, and he does get it up. Chin for 3. That's off the mark. It's tapped out to Hall. They'll hesitate. Triple is good. Carson knocks it down, and we're tied at 64.
The big man. How about that?
Timeout taken by the Tigers. We'll stay here.
109.
We paused for a second as that shot went up by Carson because it looked like for a second Hall was going to get impatient and force it up again. Then he makes the extra pass and a big-time bucket by the junior.
The guards can't make the shot. Let the big man have a crack at it. Boy, knocked it down.
Take one more look at it.
It is. Hall thought about it, but no, Davis was there. He got him on the fake, which left Carson open, and bang. Let's send it down to Keith.
It's real quick. Chris Hawkins is telling him now, watch the 4 corners. They're going to wait and watch the 4 corners. Go for the steal. Do not go for the foul.
Well, that's the fine line you walk. Because the way this game has been officiated, I would almost just try to play clean defense and roll the dice for overtime. I wouldn't try to make a big play with the risk of the way the officials have been quick to the whistle tonight.
We saw it on that last possession when Tog went to the hole on the 4 corners. He saw an opening, and they came back and blocked it. We'll see if Cathedral tries to put up a shot earlier, if they're going to hold it for 1.
Got to get it in first, and they do. Tog gives to Trussler at the top. Nice backdoor cut, but the Tigers sniff it out. And they'll have a chance to win this ball game if they want.
This is the first tie since 23 all.
Hall has to get it across, and he does. Kicks it. Chin will reset things. Will they look for 1? How much pressure will the Irish give?
How many timeouts does Attucks have? Do we know? They have 2 timeouts left. And
they're going to call a travel on Chin.
What?
I can't believe that. Chin picked up his dribble to make the pass. They said he shuffled the feet. There have been a lot of odd calls tonight. That might be the strangest.
35.5 to go. You're back where you were.
Well, the Irish will inbound it. Now they get a chance to win it. Looking for their 17th city title. Will they hold for 1?
Do we have an overtime in us?
Comer matched up against Hall. His defense has been solid all night. They give to Trussler. Trussler with 15. Back to Comer. Hall not giving him much space. Now with 8. Comer drives. They kick in the corner. The 3 is off the mark. The board, though, one more chance at it for the win. And we're going to overtime. Tog's shot. He got 2 looks at it to win the city title. Both were iron unkind, and we'll get some free basketball at Arsenal Tech.
Wow.
We'll stay here.
A game like this, it deserves overtime. It really does. You got a couple of minutes. I am curious, though, and I'm not trying to show any partiality here, but to call that travel on Chin, but to not call that one down here on Comer seems very interesting to me.
Let's send it down to the coach.
Hey, fellas, I'm telling you right now, the officials swallowed the whistle. There was 2 illegal screens down there also. The travel call, okay, I got to give it to him. But the illegal screen, they let go. That's kind of tough.
Yeah, here's my biggest thing. I know we have many former officials amongst our broadcast team, so I'm not trying to pick any fights with anybody. All I ask for is consistency. If you're going to swallow the whistle on one end, you got to do it on the other.
You sound like a typical coach, Jimmy.
Well, we got 4 more minutes left in us. Let's see what we've got. And let's look at the players. Hall, Barnett, and Tansmore have 4 for Attucks. And Brady and Davis have 4 for Cathedral.
Those are numbers to definitely keep an eye on in this extra session.
Especially with the very shallow bench that Attucks has.
Carson and Brady to jump it up for Attucks and Cathedral respectively. The tip is 1. by the Tigers. Let's see how quick they try to move. Almost a little too quick. A fortuitous bounce keeps it with Christmas Attucks. Barnett, they force feed inside. Nice cut that time by Chin, and his flutter's good.
Chin's been huge tonight.
Gives the lead to the Tigers for the first time since that first half.
Wow, Davis.
He knocked it down.
The big man.
Jake Davis made some big plays on the defensive end so far tonight, just like these charges, and there's another one right there. I'll say this, of the three, that was the one he was the most set for.
Tanzemore's out.
And Tanzemore's fouled out of the ball game.
You don't expect him to shoot it, but he was ready when he got it.
They bait him on it. They dared him to shoot.
It hasn't been Mo tonight. It's been Davis underneath the basket trying to get charges. Now the 1 point lead on this three, and Cathedral has the basketball.
Davis has drawn 3 charges so far tonight unofficially. And now they'll call a blocking foul on Hall.
And that's his 5th. Oh, by the way, Jake Davis, freshman.
So now your best guards for the Tigers dropping like flies due to disqualification. Too many fouls.
It's up to Chin really to be the ball handler now for the Attucks squad.
Irish lead is 1 with 3:17 to go in this overtime.
Is the attrition going to cost Attucks? I mean, my goodness, 2 seniors. They're all everything D1 guy and Sincere McMahon.
Well, there's enough time left in this overtime where you can still play around a little bit, especially if the Irish miss free throws. The downside is, though, Sean, if you're a Tigers fan, you want to win now. You don't want double overtime with the way these fouls are going.
Not at all. You may be ended up playing with 4 players.
You carry 10 regularly.
Yes.
You play 10 regularly. Can't afford to see that as the pair is split, and it's a 1 or 2 point lead for the Irish. Chin will walk it up. The junior finds himself responsible for the point guard duties due to the foul trouble. Chin matched up on Davis. He likes that matchup. Gives to Barnett. Under 3 to go. They feed inside. Carson left it short. Second chance. No, not that time. Third chance with some contact and put him on the line. And we're tied at 68.
He has been unbelievable tonight under the basket. Cannot be stopped.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 offensive boards for the junior Jalen Carson, and a chance to give the Tigers, incredibly, the lead again.
You can tell they were looking for him to post up, and Rogers went to him, and he was not about to be denied. I think he's saying, get on my back, fellas.
Well, you need somebody to step up, given the circumstances. We wondered who it was going to be. Carson's been there so far, and he completes the 3-point play. The Titans have the lead with under 3 to go. Time for the Irish answer. Comer is fouled en route to the cup. They'll say in the act, actually.
By. That's Chin's 4th. My goodness. That's 2:41 to go. They have got to be careful.
Comer missed his first free throw a few moments ago. And he misses the first there. We'll have 1 more to try to tie it.
Is it a little nerves for the sophomore, Comer?
If the sophomore misses here, given the foul trouble, Sean, how deliberate are you being if you're the Tigers? I know it's your nature to try to push, but you got to be patient. Rebound taken by the Tigers. Chin in a tough spot, and now the pressure backed off. Ware, floater, long, board to Carson, and he's fouled. The activity on the glass by the junior the last 2 times down has been everything.
He's been an absolute monster, and that's on Comer, which I believe is his 3rd. But You got to make your free throws now if you're Attucks. I mean, it was a great job by Ware. You could tell he wanted to get it to Carson, but they collapsed on him, so he took the floater. They couldn't keep Carson off the rebound.
First one, in and out.
A little flat on that one.
One more for Carson. That one's off, but the rebound secured by the Tigers, and they get it out to reset things.
What a play by the freshman Ware.
Ware has been cold from beyond the arc, but a big-time rebound that time. Davis all over Rogers. They say play on. Ware, and one!
Oh!
Well, that time, the Irish go to the well one too many times trying to draw the charge. They got nipped, and a three-point play opportunity upcoming for the freshman.
And
timeout taken by the Irish. We'll stay here. Well, that time, you look at all the foul trouble that the Tigers have had tonight. And regardless, because this is not an easy job to do as an official. We know that for a fact.
No.
Given the circumstances, though, you're Attucks. You've been on the wrong end of those charges all night long. The Irish try to go to that well one more time, and it cost them.
It did, and it was a great play by Ware to be aware of where he was, no pun intended.
Who'd been so cold all night long.
Yeah, but you give him credit for saying, I'm down in the blocks, I've got a smaller guy on me, I'm going to fake one way and go the other. And once he lost control, get it up at the rim and see what happens, and it went down, and that was huge.
So often for a shooter, you're having a bad night, you realize if you have a mismatch, I'm not going to try to settle for something. I'm going to go down low and try to get my points that way. He's done that to a great degree in this overtime.
It's a 4-footer that gets him going. 7-4, Attucks have outscored them in overtime with a chance here for Ware.
You can push it to 2 possessions if Ware can knock in the free throw, and even if he misses it, if you're Cathedral, you got to box out.
Yeah.
You got beat on that 50-50 ball. I hope I'm
not lecturing tomorrow in class, or my voice may be gone.
Ware makes that one. It's a 4-point lead.
Now, do you get kind of antsy if you're Cathedral here?
Well, they've been in big moments like this before. They definitely have the talent to answer the bell. Comer, wild shot, and he's fouled. Could not turn it home, but he'll get 2 free ones.
I think that's on Rogers. It is. It's only his second.
Well, if you're a Tigers faithful, you just hope that Irish keeps splitting the free throws.
He's 1 of 3 in overtime, is Comer, so you got to see what happens at exactly 2 minutes.
For the Irish, you hope those nice free throw percentages that were there in the semifinals come back to earth. So far, so good with the first one.
He needed that one because it makes you relax for the second one. You missed that first one, you tense up a little bit.
One more for Comer to make it a 2-point game. He hits them both calmly. Sub at the table, Camden Jordan, the sophomore, in for the Irish.
2 years ago, we saw a classic here, overtime, Cathedral Howe, that 2 of Howe's best players fouled out. Cathedral found a way. We're in that same position now, but this time, Attucks has the lead.
So Tyron Rogers, the big fellow, the senior, trying to work as the point guard. He dished it low at the sweep, and the 2-point jam by Carson. The big fella lulled him completely to sleep.
Boy, Ware almost got a foul there, too.
Sneaking into the game is Peter Moe. They go low to him and kick it out for 3. A big-time shot by Comer. The lead is 1, and the Tigers turn it over on the inbound. A miscommunication by Chin. He thought he had Ware, and he tipped it out of bounds, and the Irish can regain the lead.
Oh, no, it's a 1-point lead with 1:28 to go for Attucks. That was a huge 3 for Comer.
We talked about how big the size might be. They went to Moe. He distracted everybody and got Comer free.
And he got it up over Rogers. Rogers came at him, but he knocked down the big shot.
Well, how quickly will the Irish want to go? Very quickly, apparently. Is that a charge? No, it is a charge. Sliding in to take the charge. Down low for the Tigers was Christopher Chin.
That's huge, because if not, that's his 5th foul. That's now the 4th on Comer.
Basket went in, so not only is it your 5th foul, but the lead is gone, and it can be added on by the Irish.
What a gutsy play by Chin.
The junior leaving it all out there, and Rogers will again be the point guard. He's trapped, gives it to Chin. And they might be deliberate now with a 1-point lead.
Just make sure you got your good free throw shooters in.
All alone by himself is Carson, and now Ware, the freshman. Spins, and a timeout taken wisely by Coach Hawkins. He didn't like where things were going.
They were too clustered on that opposite side. That spelled trouble. Great call there by Coach Hawkins.
I never thought we'd see this tonight, but it mesmerizes me. The big fella in Tyron Rogers, they're using him as a decoy as the guard, and he has just enough handle to where he can create a little separation and kick it. That's how they got that dunk out of Carson. That's how they squeaked out of trouble there a few moments ago.
They're trying to deny Chin, but they don't realize how good of a ball handler Rogers is.
Let's go down to the coach, Keith Myers, on our sidelines.
Sorry about that. I lost my mic. Both coaches, I'm so intense down here. Both coaches wants to practice patience, but nobody's listening to him. Everybody wants to be a hero. That's going to be kind of tough. Watch the freshman. He's due. He's very much due to knock down a three.
I believe he's talking about
Ware. He's referring to Keyshawn Ware as coach. Thank you very much, as always, Keith.
Boy, wouldn't that be something to see him knock down a three here.
We had our scoreboards go dark in arena, but they quickly came back. 1:02 reads on the clock.
They tried to make a substitution, but nope.
So you're going to be without your leading scorer in Tayshawn Comer, and instead out there is Camden Jordan, the sophomore.
Carson's got 5 in overtime for them.
Tigers got to get it in first, and they do. Carson gives to Rogers. He's matched up with Moe under a minute to go. Rogers will utilize the dribble. They send a trap with Trussler and quickly get it to Chin. Chin matched up on Trussler. He's liked that matchup throughout the night. And a timeout taken by Hawkins. They almost got a 5-second closely guarded call, and that's the last timeout now by the Tigers.
Here we go. He's not. Barnett, 61% free throw shooter. You've got Rogers, 50%, Chin, 65, Carson, 79, Ware, 62.
Here's the thing for the Tigers in this huddle. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. You got to give credit where credit is due. The senior in Ryan Trussler, he's a havoc wrecker for the Irish. He's going to get in your face. He's not going to give you any space, and he's going to try to force that 5-second count. Almost got it there. No timeouts left to play with for the Tigers.
He's what I like to call a Rodman. He's the guy you hate if you're playing against him and you love if you're playing with him, because he does the dirty work, and he does that on the ball.
You don't have that quickness that you had from Jason Hall, who could kind of blow by Trussler. To an extent, Chin has it, but it's not as crisp as Hall.
Yeah. You look at the score. Comer's had 6 of the 9 points, the other 3 being that 3 by the freshman Davis for Cathedral.
Risky pass to Chin. Matched up with Trussler. Dribbles around it and gives to Barnett. Trussler's in his face. And a foul is going to be called. Trying to make a play that time was Johnson. He came with the help. That's his 4th. And it'll be 2 shots upcoming.
61% free throw shooter is Barnett.
For the junior, who's kind of stretching it out a little bit as he collided with Johnson.
Scoreboard says 3. I have him for 4.
First one for Barnett is good.
That was big. 32.4. If you're Cathedral, I missed it.
Misfired on that one. The lead is 2. How quick will the Irish go? They push all the way to the rim. A lot of contact. Mow the board, and he's fouled.
Who fouled him? Is that Rogers?
Probably somebody with 4 fouls. The way the Tigers have
Rogers, that's
been
3.
in foul trouble tonight. Just the 3rd there, so they're fortunate on that one.
Moe is a 70% free throw shooter, but he's 0 for 2 tonight.
The sophomore. In the biggest moment of the night for the Irish. That one is calm, cool, and collected. He'll have one more to try to tie it.
And then if you're, timeouts, you hold it for 1. You got to think it's going to go to Carson.
And it'll be interesting to see how aggressive Cathedral is with their defense, knowing that worst case you're going to overtime. Moe calmly knocks him down, ice water in his veins.
Here we go.
Barnett in the far corner with 13. Don't want to go too quick. Nice cut. Bodies everywhere. No timeout to work with. And is it a jump ball? Let's see. It's a jump ball, I believe. And the arrow's going to go to the Irish.
6.6.
Was it a jump ball or timeout? That's a critical juncture here, because if it's a jump ball,
it looked like
the arrow goes this way, but if it's a timeout,
I think he called a timeout.
It is a timeout, so the arrow won't change. And shaking up on the play,
but Cathedral still has the basketball.
Donovan Barnett. They do. So they get the basketball, they have a timeout, and a jump ball tie-up. Arrow stays down with the Irish.
So they get it out of bounds down here in front of us with 6.6 to go.
Well, the Tigers, they started to worry, like I mentioned, about maybe going too early, and then the possession kind of collapsed amongst itself.
It did, trying to get Chin coming down the lane to cut to the basket, and it was just a little bit too much heat on it. Got him at his feet.
And that's where you give credit back to Ryan Trussler of the Irish, because him forcing the Tigers to use both those timeouts, they could have bailed themselves out there. They had nothing left to play with, and we're kind of in no man's land.
If you are Cathedral, whose hands do you want the ball in? I would imagine Comer.
Per our sideline reporter, the great Keith Myers, he said the jump ball occurred first before the timeout. Is that what I'm understanding? So the arrow is going to switch to the Tigers. So the arrow will move. Any jump ball from now on.
Once they inbound it. Let's see what they've got with 6.6 to go.
Tog looks to inbound it. Has to get it in, force it to Trussler. It's tipped right to Tog. A scramble for the loose ball. It's a jump ball tie-up. And the arrow will go to the Tigers. And the Tigers are clamoring for more time up because the officials blew their whistle to force the jump ball, and the clock kept running.
Oh, yeah.
Well, while they try to 2.5 is what I thought I heard from the.
I thought I did too, and they put 2.5 on the
clock. That's what Lolo says.
And they'll get it at a decent spot on the opposite volleyball line. They've got plenty of time.
And now Coach Hawkins, the savvy veteran, draws up something. We mentioned Ware earlier how cold he's been. You don't need a three, but with that kind of time, you got to be deliberate with where you go with the basketball.
Here we go.
Barnett forced it into Rogers. Rogers from half court for the win. Off the mark, and we're going to double overtime. Coach Hawkins beside himself. Not what he wanted there.
Yeah, he wanted a better shot than that for sure.
And we'll put 4 more minutes up.
I thought you would have tried to maybe get it into Rogers and get a pick, to get somebody else, Flash to get somebody else open, but Rogers just took the shot.
We'll set it down to.
You got a situation that those kids just want the hoop. They don't know the time. You just don't know what 2.5 sounds like or looks like. You're just in a hurry. You just want to score. I tell you what, if the wind was blowing, it would have been pretty good.
It's a fair point.
Let's take a quick break. Oh, we won't then.
We'll stay here.
Our break was Keith. Sorry. All right, here's where we stand. Barnett and Chin have 4 for Attucks. Johnson, Tog, Comer, Brady, and Davis have 4 for Cathedral.
So everybody playing on the low power mode, so to speak.
Double overtime, just like 2 years ago. I forgot it did go to double overtime. Cathedral and Howe.
Moe and Carson to jump it up for Cathedral and Attucks respectively. And once again, just like the first overtime, the Tigers win the jump ball. Rogers works the crossover, got some space, and a blocking foul called.
Trussler, that's now his 4th. So everybody's got that little arrow above their head in video games.
Yeah. So all 5 members of the Irish on the floor
I believe
have
so.
4 personal fouls?
No, not Mo. Everybody else does.
Everybody but Mo. Okay. Rogers' first free throw is good.
I don't have any room in my score sheet for another overtime, so we need to finish it now.
Rogers' second one is good. Friendly roll, 2-point lead.
Pretty good from the 50% free throw shooter.
Not a bad time for him in double OT. Tog, nice crossover. Or make that Comer, rather, on the drive, and a blocking foul is called. Bodies Lindeck, hope everybody's okay down there. Rogers was the one that committed the personal.
Now that's his 4th. The only one for Attucks that does not have 4 is Carson. He's only got 2. So it's very, very dicey for Attucks right now.
Well, Comer's been to the foul line many a time this evening, but it's been kind of a love-hate relationship for him.
It has. What a game.
The sophomore's first is good. Brings the Irish back within 1. Ryan Trussell will take a seat on the bench for the Irish. Camden Jordan, the sophomore, back in.
He's only got 1.
Need some fresh legs and some players that can afford to commit a foul or 2. Both free throws made by Comer. Chin clapping for the basketball. Rogers hands it to him. Around a screen. Chin creates some separation. Leaves it inside, and Ware makes it. Lead to the Tigers.
Freshman making the difference in the paint.
Been a huge factor down low in the last part of the fourth quarter and in overtime. That three-pointer off the mark. Rogers could not secure the rebound. And now the Tigers all out of sorts on defense. Tog to make him pay, he does. Advantage Irish. 3 minutes even to go in double overtime.
Seems like if you give him that much space, he's going to knock it down every time.
Who answers now? Oh my, it's Christopher Chin from beyond the arc.
Oh, wow. Well, it's now in the 80s.
Comer to the rim, and a late whistle by the officials. Bryant called there, though. A lot of body contact.
Is that Carson?
On Comer's drive.
Here's the Tog 3.
Everybody got out of sorts defensively.
They did. Can't leave him open.
Made him pay.
Boy, Comer has lived at the line tonight. My goodness, I'd be curious of his free throw totals.
First one's good, and then the answer here.
He didn't hesitate either.
A replay of Chin's triple. Comer to tie the game, and he does. We're not at 82. The Irish seeking for city title number 17. The Tigers looking for their 5th, but their first in 58 years. Ware. That might have been kicked. They said it was tipped instead. It'll stay with the Tigers. Rogers inbounds the Chin, and he'll walk it up the floor. Under 2.5 to go here in double overtime of the Alliance City Final. Force pass inside. Carson gathers. He had to hesitate for just a second and missed it. It squirts to Chin, though. Rogers, extra pass. Barnett for 3. Got it!
Barnett!
Donovan Barnett from downtown. Irish up the floor. A lot of contact. Rogers the rebound. He'll work the crossover. Will they push? They will. Ware hesitates, and it's kicked out of bounds. That might have been the best thing to happen for the Tigers.
Because they're out of control.
Worst case there, a foul could be committed. In best case, it's just a turnover that leads to a fast break for the Irish.
The last guy you expect to shoot a 3 is Barnett, but hey, he's open, feeling it. Some contact from Mo, too.
Back to live action now. Chin, bounce pass, Barnett, another one. An air ball, rebound Carson, a lot of contact. Rogers gathers, Carson the putback, it's good. Largest lead of the game for the Tigers with 1:45 to go in double overtime.
Carson has been an absolute animal tonight.
Tog, look for some daylight.
Oh, I thought he carried it.
Might have carried the basketball, it's a good eye. Johnson the 3, back
my
in!
goodness.
Oh my goodness! Jalen Johnson threw up a prayer from the top of the arc, and he banked it after hours.
You got to call that, don't you?
Some places.
My goodness, let's take a look at it. It was off balance, but somehow he got it to go down.
What a shot. Still a 2-point lead for the Tigers. 90 seconds to go.
Are you ready for this? Tonight, Coleman from the line, 18 of 24.
The great Bill Ludlow with that stat. That is insane.
He himself has shot 24 free throws.
We talked about it just in perspective. We were blown away at how many free throws that the Irish had taken in the semifinal as a team. They attempted 38. Comer has 24 alone tonight. 75% clip.
I mean, he's 77 for the year, but the only person you expect to take that many free throws is James Harden. You know?
You're not wrong.
So what do you do now here? Let me flip it on you. What do you do now here if you're Attucks?
Well, given the fact that they've been playing with one hand tied behind their back with their senior and junior guard on the bench, you need to be as deliberate as you can. First you get the ball in, but you don't need to go full speed to the hoop. The clock is your friend right now. Just be smart with the basketball. Ware says otherwise. He'll try a three. In and out. Rebound. He put it in.
Wow.
Nobody boxed him out, and the lead is 4.
They're going to pull up a quick three here.
I guess so. Jordan, he's fouled, and he'll head to the line for 3 free ones.
And that's Barnett's 5th. That was ticky-tack.
Well, for Barnett, the junior, you've got to be a little bit more self-aware. You're up 4. You don't need to close that aggressively on that triple. Get a hand up, but he's now fouled out of the ball game.
And you ready? Here comes Frank Johnson, a 5'10 senior who has not played tonight or Saturday.
So getting a little bit of minutes here.
My. Jordan is 6 for 6 on the year.
Well, the PA announcer said he was shooting. Okay, the PA announcer said he was shooting 2, but the officials have confirmed it's 3 shots.
And he's made the first 2.
So he'll have 1 more.
My goodness. Back and forth. This is taking years off of the coaches' lives. Putting gray hairs on their head too.
Maybe the broadcasters also. This has been.
That's why Keith is so bald.
Missed the 3rd one, but the rebound taken by the Irish.
Oh my goodness.
An elbow was extended by Togg in the corner, and they're going to instead say that a foul was committed by Carson.
That's his 4th.
Well, it looked like a clean trap by the Tigers, and Togg tried to get a little bit of separation. Move the elbows a little bit, and they'll say he was wrapped around on the arm. First free throw is good. A chance to tie it for the Irish with 1:08 to go.
He's an 84% free throw shooter, so you know he understands what's going on. Let's see if he can knock the second one down.
To tie us at 89. That one's good. Big time free throws by Togg.
Was Attucks up by 5 at some point?
They were up by 5 with about 1:50 to go. And now in 50 seconds, that lead is gone, and we're all knotted up at 89. Skip past to Chin. Under a minute now. Carson sets a screen. And a kicked ball that time. The officials see it happen.
Do you hold for 1?
The way that, with how limited you are, I almost would. I don't think Cathedral's going to let you. They're going to apply pressure to the basketball, but I almost would try to.
Boy, would this be a big time.
Ware from the logo.
What a time!
Keyshawn Ware, his second 3 of the night after missing his last 7. The answer is long. The rebound falls to the Irish. Togg resets. And a foul is going to be committed by the senior, Frank Johnson. Ware shot this from the sideline logo.
He shot it from Cathedral.
He was 1 of 8 from downtown for the game before that one.
Wow.
Apparently he just needed a little more distance.
And Johnson's hurt, and he got caught up with his wrist. But the thing is, Tog has 2 free throws, but they're down 3.
So not the worst foul in the world there, but you got to box out, and you got to get the ball in if these free throws are made. First one, cool and collected at the line, and give credit to Cathedral because they've knocked down some big-time free throws in these 2 overtimes.
They've had 9 here in the second overtime, according to my book.
One more to cut it to 1. That one's good. I'll get it into Chin. Chin, pressure in the corner. Gets it up ahead, and an offensive foul.
Oh,
Chin extended the
To
arm.
be kidding me.
Chin extended the arm on Tog. That's the right call there. The officials saw it the whole way.
As much as that's happened all night long.
He was pressured, and a little bit of a theatric, but enough of the extension in front of the officials, and the Irish with a chance to win the ball game.
And that's it for Chin.
The only upside for the Tigers, we talked about a player control foul, so it's not going to be free throws, but
Dotson is in now for them. Eric Dotson. He's a senior as well.
Coleman will have it. He leaves it for Tog. Tog with 10. And a timeout taken by the Irish. They wisely want to talk things over with 11 and 1 ticks left.
I'm at a loss for words. This is insanity.
Well, we've seen the Tigers be up by as many as 5, and that's happened in this overtime. The Irish have led by as many as 9. That happening in the third quarter, early fourth quarter. Since then, it's been a fight to the finish, and the Tigers clinging to a 1-point lead.
You've got to come up with something defensively here because you want to keep it out of Tog's hands.
Let's send it down to our sideline man, the coach, Keith Myers.
What you don't want to do is foul. That's what you don't want to do. Then if they shoot the ball, you got all have to crash the rebound. The young man that hurt his wrist, that's why he wasn't playing tonight, because his wrist was hurting all season long. Incredible guts right now.
I see Sear McMahon playing a coach in the sidelines there.
You know how much this matters to the senior.
You got to watch out for Davis, too, because he's hit a 3, but I keep it out of Tog's hands and make somebody else beat me.
Well, Tog will be the trigger man. He gets it to Comer. Comer with 10 across the timeline. They bring a trap at Comer. He blows right by it. Comer a 1-on-4. The layup is off the mark. Rebound taken by the Tigers. Final seconds, and the Irish have to foul. Comer went all the way to the rim. The Tigers stayed strong and true defensively, and they can make this a still one-possession game at the charity stripe.
And who got the rebound? Carson.
Jalen Carson, the man so active on the offensive glass. Coach Delaney is beside himself for the Irish.
That foul was on Trussler. It's his 5th.
And arguably their best on-ball defender, or one of them anyway, in Ryan Trussler, as Sean mentioned. Fouls out of this one. 2 huge free throws for Carson to try to give a little breathing room. First one is pure. One more for him. It'll still be a one-possession game. The Irish have to go to length of the floor with 1.6. They do have a timeout left.
I imagine if he makes it, they'll probably call it.
Does Carson miss it, though? No, it makes it. Makes them both. And the Irish will use their timeout.
That was their last timeout. Here's what I think. Do not guard the inbounder. Most people say guard the inbounder. I say don't, because that gives you an extra guy to go against 4 to prevent the one guy to get the three-pointer in it.
And with this little time left, in theory, you're not going to be just handing the ball off 90 feet away. Let's go down to the coach.
Real quick, guys, what they're going to do is probably a double pass. You bring the guy in, you bring the guy out of bounds, bring the other guy out of bounds, throw it to the length of the floor, maybe hit the home run. Got to hit a three-pointer to win it.
Yeah, you got to guard the three-point line
and
here.
to correct real quick, the force overtime. It's the 3-point lead
Yes.
by the Tigers.
So they got to hit a 3 to go
We've
4
seen
more
crazier
minutes.
things. It brings to mind Valparaiso in the 90s, the old
Bryce Drew
play.
Which was fantastic.
You go the baseball pass, plenty of options. Let's see what Coach Delaney drew up to try to force a third overtime. Jordan the trigger man. He can run the length of the floor. They get it in. Comer, the heave. It's well short. The clock did not start, though.
But Rogers,
and the officials say it's over. For the first time in 58 years, the Crispus Attucks Tigers have won the city title.
What an unbelievable, gutsy effort by the Crispus Attucks Tigers. All the guys that fouled out, the first one being Sincere McMahon early in the fourth quarter, and they survived 2 overtimes to win. What an unbelievable win for Crispus Attucks.
Not only McMahon, and maybe you mentioned it, but the Attucks band is going nuts to our right, rightfully so. You also lose Jason Hall. You lose 2 of your best guards to foul trouble, countless others as well, and you still find a way.
They had 5 guys foul out.
There you go. 5 players foul out for a team that usually plays 10 on a regular rotation.
Yeah. And one of the guys that played at the end wasn't playing because he was hurt. And for the first time since 1962, Crispus Attucks is your city champion. Let's go down to Keith with Coach Hawkins.
Congratulations, Coach. Well done.
Yeah, long game. Kids just stepped up. We had used our whole bench. Everybody did something meaningful tonight. So it's a team win.
I tell you what, once you lost your 4th guy, I was going to say, put me in, Coach, already. But, man, I tell you what, lots of heart. And your seniors stepped up and helped the young guys coach during those timeouts and during the overtime.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things, just the leadership, playing one more play. Hey, your shot's going to fall. Q with that big 3 in the corner. And then, like I said, we just had everybody step up. So it's a great team win. And 58 years, last time we won city. That number's pretty lucky for us.
You got a nice little smile on your face. Congratulations. We'll see you next week. Back up to you guys.
Thanks so much, Coach. A victorious Coach Chris Hawkins. He has a city title to his name to go along with that state title back in 2017. What a time to be a Crispus Attucks Tiger.
This is one of the better games I've seen in many, many years, going back to the game 2 years ago where Cathedral beat Howe in double overtime. Just an unbelievable effort. And the crazy thing is, Jimmy, is this win isn't only for today. This win gives you, if you're Attucks and Coach Hawkins, it gives you confidence knowing that if you lose your best guy come sectional time, you've got guys coming off the bench that can get it done for you.
Well, the host team, the Arsenal Tech Titans, and the host of this tournament and their head coach and athletic director, Mosey Barnes, said in the pregame conversation, the great thing about this tournament is it tests you mid-season for what is to come. And you're exactly right, Sean. You know that no matter the odds for you, if you're a Tiger, you get into deep foul trouble, you're going to have a chance as long as you keep fighting together.
Yeah, it's incredible. And that right there is the beauty of sports. I mean, look at what Sincere McMahon did when he first fouled out. He was apoplectic. He was beside himself. But once he regrouped, he became another coach. When Chin got his 4th foul, or when Ware wasn't hitting shots, he was there to pick him up and say, "You got to do this." And who hit a big 3 in the second overtime? Ware hadn't hit one since first quarter.
On the other side of things, for Cathedral, you've had tremendous success all throughout the city tournament this century. This is a loss, I think, going forward, though, that really does help your group because you met a team that would not quit. It's a team you could potentially meet in sectionals. You realize what it takes to beat a team like this, and it can only help you grow moving forward at the midpoint of the season.
You know full well that it's going to take every last drop of drive and energy that you've got to beat Cathedral, and Cathedral knows the same when it comes to Attucks too, because they're going to go in there and go, these guys beat us, the Johnsons and those guys. Hey, give credit where credit's due. What an unbelievable basketball game.
Well, we want to thank everyone involved in this broadcast this evening. For our sideline reporter, the great Keith Myers, Bill Ludlow doing work on
Oh, great job
the
by
stats
those
for
guys.
us tonight. Our leader behind the ones and twos, the great Jerry Collins, and my broadcast partner tonight, Sean Kroll. It's time to party like it's 1962, everybody. For the first time in 58 years, the Christmas Attucks Tigers are city tournament champions. They win it over the Cathedral Irish by a final of 94-91. And until we talk to you next time, so long, everybody.